Well, yo, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to the worldwide family. Y'all know how we do it, like it's standing up in here today. Y'all return toward Holy Jerusalem, as mentioned in Daniel chapter 6, 1 Kings 8th chapter, the book of Jonah. Men are to uncover their head, women are to cover their head when praying or prophesying in the assembly. Y'all, we hold our hands high. 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 8. Want the Most High to lift us up in His majesty and His truth. That's right. And save us from our transgressions. Hallelujah.
We'll get this opening prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of His only beloved and begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, we all call Him Jesus the Christ.
Yes, sir.
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, the 43rd chapter, and it reads, "Judge me, O Yahweh, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. O deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man. For thou art the Elohim of my strength. Why dost thou cast me off? Why go I mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? O send out thy light and thy truth. Let them lead me. Let them bring me unto the holy hill and to thy tabernacle. Then will I go unto the altar of Yah, unto Yah, my exceeding joy. Yea, upon the heart will I praise thee, O Yah, my God. Why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted within me? Hope in Yah, for I shall yet praise Him, who is the health of my countenance and my Elohim." Hallelujah! Say that! All right, sir.
Yo, today's lesson, a blessing of law spiritually. So y'all will continue on in expressing law from its four corners or its four sides that deals with everybody's personal or impersonal situation. Because it looks at everyone's situation. It is not an uncommon event that's happening to you today. The only thing different with us from back then is technology. They had technology too, but it was a lot of manpower. Good?
Mine was on, yeah, but that one went.
Okay, we good?
Yeah, we still had a mic.
Yes, sir.
Both mics.
Technology.
Technology, what we just speaking of. So today's lesson of law spiritually, y'all, and last week we kind of went over how important it was, the word priesthood, concerning these laws. If you still ain't got it in your spirit yet, and you ain't talking Melchizedek, priesthood, you're wasting your time or you're spinning your wheels in grammar school again. No disrespect to the law, we are talking about the change in priesthood. Y'all, we have to keep grinding on it because it's the only way you're gonna make it relevant in your life, because you're dealing with your conscious mind, and the world, y'all, is now dealing with the conscious mind. Y'all, they are going back years on what you may have said, any racist remarks or anything like that. Something about something like that. They're putting your business out on Front Street. There's cameras everywhere. Somebody gonna be live streaming everything. You have to be on guard, y'all, because you're representing a brand name. You can't represent this like it's some Gucci bag you got at the barbershop. No, this have to be treated better than you would 10 times, 10,000 times, thousands, how you would care about a personal item that you may go to a high dollar store and get. But all that's corn. Y'all, we're talking about spirituality that's regulated up here before your flesh moves. And y'all, why we are on these laws, because like we're saying, there are 4 sides to law. And every example of an individual life is met throughout that. Me and Tobias was coming down today. I'm gonna say this, we'll move on. Today, and we'll just, a question was asked about the inheritance of, if a man have a child, they're right, Tobias, if he have a daughter only or son and daughter, but the daughter's older.
She was basically asking, can only men be first fruit?
Right.
The woman be first fruit also.
Right, and there is rules and laws about first fruit. Abraham's covenant was to his seed. It's the seed of a man, but the seed is both male and female. Y'all look, the Most High didn't set us up for a wipeout miscegenation program. If you holler in Deuteronomy 7 and 6, we ain't supposed to mix with no other nation, and they kill all our women, who you gonna mix with? How your seed gonna go forth? If you obey Deuteronomy 7 and 6, now you're gonna be in violation of the law. How do you die without a son and leave a legacy for your name? Israel wiped out, so miscegenation ain't gonna never get it. Nor if they kill all the men and all the men of other nations get with our women, Israel is wiped out again. No, it says our seed will be as the sand on a beach or the stars of heaven. They're innumerable. So y'all, that means we have the blood covenant. Until you understand Genesis 12th chapter and then go into Genesis 15th chapter, the splitting of that calf and the Most High making a sworn oath at that point. This is bigger than you're trying to say, if it only comes from this way, we're going to be wiped out. No, you have to look at your plan. You have to look at that all the way around. The Father and the Son knew where we would be today because the end was already written. We're just playing the parts. The end is already written, y'all, to this script. Yo, it ain't gonna change as it go along. No. It can't interrupt prophecy. So y'all, with that, I'm hold on that, and we're gonna get right into understanding these lessons of the law given to us, and we'll see how the Messiah lined things right up with the law. The law never changed. He just adds some priesthood to it from the Melchizedek order. Anybody got any questions or concerns out there? Anybody in here? Y'all been here a whole week, y'all, since we last met. So any questions or concerns on your heart, mind, or soul? Anything out there, Tobias?
No, sir.
Okay, so y'all, we're gonna get right to the heart of the matter. And we're gonna talk about understanding this law spiritually. So we want to get down to the first thing, is get rid of the big eyes and little U's or however it go, y'all. But when you get into this doctrine of the Messiah, the gospel of the Messiah given to him by his Father, y'all gonna have to understand, teamwork make the dream work. So if these are visions, the only way they're gonna work is if you on the same team. No mixed teams going on around here. You don't see the Celtics and this other team playing together against each other when they playing. No, I decide I want to score at this basket this time. Don't count that way. So y'all, let's get into 1 Corinthians 13 chapter. It's some very important understanding of this. It's the charity of law. And if you don't understand the law from this perspective, then we're going right into some Matthew 7. We got to get some good understanding, and we'll move forward with some laws in Leviticus 19th and 20th chapter. Very important of how we administer them today. So everywhere you would see slaughter of bullocks, you got to understand how we substitute lambs for the Messiah, and how you are to go to the priest Not several priests, the priests. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, let's get it, verse 1.
We start our reading in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, starting at verse 1. Everybody there?
Yeah.
Get some understanding. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass.
So right here, Paul is saying there's tongues of men, there's tongues of angels. And he say, if you ain't understanding what I'm saying, then it's a waste of time. The language we talking in, or the goodness of the Most High, cannot be understood. Go ahead.
Or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing.
I am what?
I am nothing.
So when you look at this verse, Paul is not saying he has all of these gifts because he would be the Messiah. What he's telling you, though, if I had all of these gifts, and with no charity, I'm not doing it for pure love. I'm not doing it for the edification of the kingdom. And how you're going to live there, I am nothing. Right. Just blowing my horn in the wind. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing.
It does what?
Profiteth me nothing.
Okay.
Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up.
See, and that's a fine line on when you are doing these so-called or spreading the word of the Most High and giving gifts. It's letting you know it ain't you. You're never going to make the law seem like it's coming from you, like you the one that invented this. If you don't understand it, this is when the Messiah say he so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son. If you don't understand that love from that perspective, what was done on Calvary, Isaiah 53rd chapter, you will never get this. You cannot water this down to me and you, nor water the Messiah down to the point that where he's equal like us and he was spread it from that perspective. No, that was true, unmitigated love of the Father that was given to him. And this is what Paul explained, and we're going to get into the Messiah expressing everything Paul is saying right here, though I do these things, and we're going to see how the Messiah answered. Let's get it. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil.
Thinketh what?
No evil.
See, y'all, that's a hard one for us. When you have to love your brother. So that means there's a line you can't cross, right? Because you can't think no evil. If you go to the point you start plotting murder, if you go to the point you start plotting, if I see him, it's going to be like this, then that can no longer be your brother. Because now you're crossing over the line. Something has to get in between that so that you think no evil. Because y'all, when you mad at somebody, you think evil. You don't think, yeah, I'm gonna pick him up and take him shopping.
No.
Buy him some new clothes. Yeah. I'm gonna pick her up and take her, get her that ring she been wanting. Yeah, because I hate it. No.
It's
You're
on
gonna be thinking
site.
something.
It's on site.
Yeah.
I wish he would.
Yeah, I want you to get a flat out there on 270 in rush hour
Now you,
in July.
Now you're trying to curse her.
Yeah. See, y'all, it's across those lines when you think evil. That's why he say, I didn't create evil, neither did I tempt any man. When you understand that he never created, evil was created when they wouldn't do the will of God. Evil comes behind that. It's a created from the Messiah's perspective and the Father because we wouldn't do right. So that which is evil standeth at the door. Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
What it say?
Rejoiceth not in iniquity.
Do what?
Rejoiceth not in iniquity.
Right.
But rejoiceth in the truth. Beareth all things. Believeth all things.
Believe is what?
All things.
So if you're in this doctrine and you say, I believe it's been tampered with, you don't believe all things.
That's right.
You believe some of the things.
What you want to believe.
What you want to believe. Go ahead, brother.
Hopeth all things. Endureth all things. Charity never faileth. But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away.
So you're saying that prophecies are going to fail? Isaiah 66 failed? No, it said whether there be prophecies. Everybody making a prophecy. Prophecy is going to fail, but he said my word would never fail. See, it didn't say in the prophecies of the Lord. Everybody is prophesying. Prophecies should fail. Charity never faileth, which is the law of the Most High. It never faileth. That's what we have to see first. But if you're not doing the prophecy according to charity, then that prophecy gonna fail, ain't it? Say that the world gonna collapse in the year 2000. We're gonna take over the kingdom. That prophecy failed, didn't it?
Miserable.
Huh? Why? Because the law of prophecy was not kept. You name the date. When the law said there's no date given to man. If that's the case, that would give you time to get yourself together. If we heard tomorrow the Messiah was coming back, y'all, we'll party up until tomorrow. 2 minutes before it's about to happen. Same way we do the microwave. Every microwave got 3 seconds left on it. We can't wait. Let's get some more.
Verse 9.
What it say?
For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away.
See, so all of your mishaps, when that is come, when Messiah is come the second time, all of this is going to be done away with. We ain't got to worry about when he coming back. Because when he comes, you're going to know it for sure if you alive. And if you ain't, when you resurrected, you're going to find out it was the truth. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 11.
Uh-huh.
When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
So when you become a man, there should be no childish things found round about you. It says, I put them away. Y'all, you know how you put up something you may have had back in the day, you put it away. It's just a memory. Huh? Yeah. You put it away because those were things I had when I was a child. But when I'm a man, I got to do man things. And these scriptures instruct you on what a man ought to be doing. It ain't hard. It ain't grievous. It just comes with responsibility. That's the difference in a child and a man. A child has no responsibility. It's only when you become a man when they tell you, when you graduate school, either you go on to school or you get a job. You can't live here for free. This is how much it costs. Since you grown, you a man.
Right.
Let's read some more.
Verse 12. For now we see through a glass, darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, and these three. But the greatest of these is charity.
And when we look at charity, y'all, it's the law being performed with mercy and goodness. And when he tell us, y'all, we got to look at that. We got to always respect it from that level. We cannot make judgment for charity for ourselves. If you do, y'all, it's the same way you're going to be met with charity from the Most High. So you need to know it all the way around. And y'all, before we get into that Matthew 8, I just want to get a little bit of what we just read. And we're going to get into some Leviticus 19th and 20th chapter, because we want to get into some law of our neighbor and strangers that may be amongst us. Y'all, we got to know how to live together before we just go to the kingdom. You think you're going to find out when you get there?
Right.
No, it ain't like that. What they doing over there? What's happening over there? What the men doing? What's happening? No.
It's going to be a fight.
Don't know. Ain't got a clue. Leviticus 19th chapter.
Going to be reading in the book of Leviticus in the 19th chapter. Start our reading at verse 1.
See, y'all, why we're going over these as well, too, because what prophecy does, it shows you how close we are to the end. There's a generation we're going to find ourselves in. He said, if these things right here are happening at that time, that's the generation that's going to see the second coming of the Messiah. It's that generation. So, y'all, when he say it's possible that there will be no flesh saved, that wasn't even 100 years ago. Right now, with all of the superpowers with nuclear warheads, they could destroy the earth and kill everybody on it tomorrow. I'm not talking about a blast, that one blast killing everybody. I'm talking about blocking out the sun. And when you get no heat from the sun, you know what that means. You may die 10 years later, but all of this talk y'all are seeing about Chernobyl, that was in the early 80s. How many years ago was that? 82?
Yeah.
That's 30 plus 36 years. And they're just now allowing people to even be able to walk in that area, and that was a leak. That never exploded, it leaked out. So y'all, we are in a time, can we say we're in that generation? If not, then there's another superpower coming greater than this nation. Y'all imagine that? So we're gonna get another Pharaoh over us. That'll be like the Pharaoh that rose above that Joseph didn't know. Or we set for another one of them? I hope not, y'all. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Reading in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, start the reading at verse 1. Let's get some understanding.
Yes, sir.
And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, ye shall be holy, for I, the Most High, your Elohim, am holy.
See, so that means set apart. Holy. Y'all, there's a law for how to be holy. Give me that dictionary. Let me get that holy out of there for me. So y'all, we can understand this, y'all. Every word always gonna have two definitions. There's gonna be a spiritual definition, and there's gonna be a carnal definition for that word. You have to be able to understand what that means, y'all. And if that means you don't go to the next verse until you understand what that word means, you have to stop and look it up so that you get understanding before you move to the next verse. You can't say, oh, I think maybe it means that. No, it's not written that way. With all you're getting, get what?
Understand?
Yeah, you see holy in that? Yes, sir. And y'all, we do these things because you have to understand that holy don't mean no other nation can be set apart. It's not saying by no circumstances, but if they have to keep the law, that means they have to be holy, don't they? They can't handle this word and be unholy. Okay. Holy. Belonging to, derived from, or associated with a divine power, sacred, worthy of worship or high esteem, reverence. A holy book, living according to a religious or spiritual system, set apart. And we get to the one it's saying in hand. Formerly associated or pertaining to an established or organized religion, they use the word theme, depicted, subject. So there's one or two ways this is speaking to us. It says divine, worthy to be called reverend. We know that when it tells us to be holy, that part of holy does not apply to us, because we can't call ourselves reverend. Because he said, Psalm 111:19 said, I'm holy and reverend. Y'all brothers. So the next one go on to say, to be set apart, to keep the law, statutes, and judgment and sacrifices of that deity, completely devoted to one's deity. That's what the Messiah said, for I am holy, y'all be holy. Everything I did was because my Father showed it to me, and I did it to the left. Okay, so y'all, that's how we have to understand it. We can never be called reverend or worshiped as reverend, because Matthew 23:8 go into the same thing. For one is your master. For one is your rabbi. So we have to understand it from that perspective. Holy to the point you don't get it mixed up and call the Pope holy what? What they call him, holy what? Holy Father. You can't give him that title. He's not the Holy Father. Abraham was the father of many nations, but is it worded like that ever? Did Abraham ever sit in a closet and have you come in there and tell him your sins? And then he said, go, I forgive you. Is that written anywhere?
I ain't saying it.
So how dare his Romans show up and say he's worthy of that type of holiness? Let's get it.
Verse 3.
What it say?
Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Most High, your power.
So this say every man's mother and father must be respected.
That's right.
When it says keep the fifth commandment, honor thy mother and thy father, that means your brother's mother and father. You gonna respect your mother but cuss around his mama?
No.
His mama birth certificate ain't changed. Let's read some more.
Verse 4. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am the Lord your God.
You got to be careful whatever you're doing. If you make anything that says it has the healing power of the Most High, you have to be careful. Nothing in law says anything you find or make can substitute, or any earthly things can substitute themselves as the worship or protection of the Most High. Long. Ain't nowhere in Aaron's breastplate or those gemstones ever told to be used for anything other than a representation of the 12 tribes of Israel. See, that's where they get your birthstone from and tied to the month you were born. But these stones were tied to the 12 tribes of Israel. And it wasn't going to let you pick out which one was for what tribe, because can't nobody prove, did he arrange them 4 across and name them Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah 4 across, or did he name them 3 down, coming down, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and then the next row start Judah? Who can explain? So how you going to say what tribe is what stone? Where your information coming from? You can't put stones under your pillow and then tell somebody they can't put a rabbit foot under that. How you gonna tell me I can't put that a tooth under my pillow? Hell, money show up. But I still got the same code when I put that crystal under my pillow. Now, which one I'm gonna do? So we're not to do those things. Make no idols, y'all. It's easy to make an idol and worship that idol. Keep things as what they did. We wore jewelry, y'all. Jewelry will not protect you. If you put on a cross and think it's gonna protect you. If I put on this chain and think because it has the Messiah's name in Hebrew, this gonna save me from a carjacking. Hold it. Give me back my keys.
Pow.
Pow, right. I was just playing. Take it. Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
Verse 5.
Yeah.
And if ye offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Most High, ye shall offer it at your own will.
See, and when you start to talk about fasting and doing things, you have to offer that at your own will. I can't make you do something for me. That's your sacrifice. That ain't recorded. Y'all, these are neighbor teachings. Y'all, this is the charity Paul was talking about in 1 Corinthians 13. That's your offering. How you gonna offer me to the Lord? You taking the place of my Father. Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
What it say?
It shall be eaten the same day ye offer it, and on the morrow, and if aught remain until the third day, it shall be burnt in the fire.
And what we did back in that day before the Messiah came, we would offer a bullock. We would sacrifice that bullock. Y'all, we didn't throw sacrifice meat away. You ate it. So naturally, you was gonna have to have teeth to eat it, right? But y'all, it couldn't be no LOs after the third day. Leftovers. You have to get it out. Same way, that's why you're supposed to cook enough that lasts 3 days. After food lasts, it starts to deteriorate. You got to get it out. You get a refrigerator full of food more than these days, what's gonna happen? Now think about this. The freezer's cold and it's freezing, the refrigerator cold. How do you smell stinking now when you open up a cold spot? I mean, that's stinking. How? Huh? In a deep freezer, can't you? There's something that ain't right. It's called dying flesh from the sin of Adam. Let's read some more.
Verse 7. And if it be eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable. It shall not be accepted.
So you have to understand, and this is a sacrifice to the Most High. That's what you have to understand. He's saying, look, when you sacrifice to me, just don't leave that meat hanging around. Get it ate up and sacrifice enough for you. That's what it's for. You can't bring nobody else, and we don't know what you sacrificing about. And everybody eating, you may leave some over. He's saying, when you do this, it's for you. That way, for these couple of days, you know what you're eating for. I got to get something off me. See, you can, like how we do the Day of Atonement and fast, you can sacrifice the same way and eat the same way to gain strength and camaraderie with the Most High, I should say. But you have to do it accordingly. He said, how many days you sacrifice to me? Don't eat and say you sacrifice to me on day number 3. You done cook too much and don't want to throw it out. No, don't go invite a bunch of people to help finish it up. Then your sacrifice wasn't with charity. You breaking rules as you go along. We cannot break the rules, y'all. If there's something in law that we need to adjust, we have to go to the lawgiver. Like me and Tobias were talking about the daughters of the Holy Family, we'll talk about that in earth. The law say a man must have a seed to pass on. If he don't have a seed then, and his brother died, he go into his brother's wife. Well, what if he ain't married? Or what if his father only had daughters? They went to the lawgiver at that time was Moses. And Moses said, let me go talk to the Lord about this. He said, if a man have no sons and daughters only, then this the deal. They have to marry somebody out of their same tribe. They have to do this. They have to do that. You can't break that. And then that child that's born, even though this man didn't have a son, his daughter is looked at a son. She's now carrying the seed. It's the seed of a woman now. Y'all have to understand what that means. That ain't just started. That started in Genesis 3:16, didn't it? Did it talk about Adam's seed, or was it the seed of the woman? That enmity, was it the seed to Satan? He said, I put enmity between your seed and his seed. Was he talking to Adam or was he talking to Eve? Let's read some more.
Verse 8. Therefore, everyone that eateth it shall bear his iniquity.
What shall they do?
Bear his iniquity. Because he hath profaned the hallowed thing of the Most High. And that soul shall be cut off from among his people. So how you gonna eat this bread and you ain't satisfied because you're saying it may be tampered with? That's gonna be a problem, man. That's like you coming to a feast and somebody asks you, no, we Israelite, and somebody asks, them hot dogs beef. So you think we got some pork on there, do you? See, that's the same thing if somebody tell you, I wouldn't trust that. Well, how you gonna tell me anything about it and you don't trust it? Wouldn't that be crazy? You don't trust it and you trying to get me to trust it. And the only reason you don't trust it is because you're not looking at it as being holy. The writings and the laws themselves as reference, as worthy to be worshiped. Who gave you these laws? You're not looking at it like that. You're looking at it like yourself. You think if I just separate myself from over here, then that means I'm holy. I don't want nobody else around. That means I'm holy. You fooling yourself and you a sinner. Let's read a little bit more. Verse 9. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of the vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor.
For the who?
For the poor and strangers.
And who else?
And strangers. I am the Most High, your Elohim.
See, when you're planning, you always have to think about the poor, y'all. And the poor is not beggars. That's a total different thing, y'all. That's a lot of this is scheming we're seeing on the highways. If you see the same person there every day, that's a living they're trying to make off of begging.
Right.
Yo, if you ain't seen them and they come, you have to look them in the eye, because you can't turn your eye from a poor man. If they're poor, look them in the eye. They'll have the look of, do you know also where I can get some work? But with that same sign, and these signs are getting smaller, y'all. I've seen a sign about like this, y'all. What does that say? Money. Yeah, that's what it says. Give me. G-I-M-M-E.
Sign said too ugly to process.
Too ugly to process. Oh, boy, now y'all see that? Now it's a joke. He said I would sell myself, but I'm just too ugly. See, you have to be careful about the charity that you give to that. It has to be somebody that you're looking at. Poor, like y'all say, it's a range. Starts with if this much income come in your house. When you get to this level, this much income. And then when you get to this much income, if you can, now you may move to what's called middle class. And then you move to what may be called rich. Right? But when David killed Goliath, and Saul told him, "You can have my daughter," he said, "I am a poor man." Did that mean he didn't have no money, nowhere to live, and was out on the street under a bridge, sleep somewhere? Couldn't have been, because when his brothers was out there hiding, when Goliath was talking noise, he was keeping the what? The sheep. He's a shepherd.
Right.
He brought them, his daddy said, "Go take the men something to eat at the war, cheese and wine and different things." He sent it. But they were just common shepherds. They were everyday working people. They was like us, 2 checks from homeless. That check you just got, and that one that's coming 2 weeks from now, which half of it already spent. After that, you are into poverty, not poor. I mean, not going to the level of begging, but you're into poverty right now. It may be no income, but the plan has to be, how do I get income so something could go out, so I get some back in here, and then I have to always have myself to the point that where I can give to the poor. You cannot let yourself get to the position, if you're healthy, let me say that, that's a different thing if you got ailments and different things. But you have to be to the point that where you can help contribute to the poor. Shalom, AZ. That where you can help contribute to the poor. And y'all, the poor are contributing. All of the money, the taxes, y'all have to understand, everybody that's working at Rally's, Family Dollar, up to Wells Fargo, a Fortune 500 company, y'all, that tax money is still going to the welfare system. And if you know somebody getting a $200 stipend a month and they ain't going to work, that's you still giving to the poor. But if they start pimping that, we got a different understanding now. They're taking advantage of charity. It may run out.
Yeah.
Let's get some more, bro.
Verse 11. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
That ain't hard. Who can't keep that law? Raise your hand. Raise your hand out there in the worldwide order. Y'all can't keep that. When people holler, can't nobody keep the law. Is this one of them? Raise your hand if you can't keep this one right here. You dare not.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy Elohim. I am the Most High.
So is this anything that the Messiah said different? He said the same law. Don't swear, didn't he? Let your agreement be what? Let your yeas be yea and your nays be nay, didn't he? What's different is this high priest saying different than the law? The only thing changed was the high priest. But the same law, they're talking the same language. Messiah ain't came and changed no language. Y'all, for y'all just getting it, we're in Leviticus 19th chapter, verse 12. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him.
Neither do what?
Neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. How
you got somebody working for you and you say, look, I'll be back at 6. You know, y'all gonna wrap it up at 6. I had y'all paper at 6. And then it's 8 o'clock and they still calling you. You ain't answered the phone.
Right.
And I was gonna get the paper over there to you. Hell, I had some other things I had to do. I can get it to you in the morning. I work for it today. Get me my paper before the sun go down. That's the new day.
That's a terrible feeling.
That's a terrible feeling, bro. You counting on it.
Yeah.
The family counting on it.
Everybody.
The look when you come through the door, they look and do you have it? And the children looking cold, they looking for the mama to do like this. You got it. If she look like, everybody turn around. Hey, you got it.
Yeah.
We eating water soup again.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. It's a wishing for meat sandwich again tonight. Where you put your hand between 2 pieces of bread and snatch it off before you wishing for meat sandwich. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shalt fear the Most High. I am Yahweh.
That's self-evident of what that means.
Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
See, you can't give more power to the individual that's got stacks on deck.
Right.
And somebody just working a 9 to 5. How you gonna give him more power unless you looking for something from him? So that ain't charity that we just read again. Is because you got partiality now.
Right.
You got to be looking both at both of them, like it's Ecclesiastic 8:8. Get that for me really quick, y'all, before we come back. Anybody, just grab that one verse, Ecclesiastic 8:8. What it say? Really quickly, y'all. That's how we have to look at every individual. Yeah, we have to look at them like that, because if you don't, you're gonna be looking at Jordan different. If Jordan walked in the club, why you buying him a drink?
Right.
There is no man that has power of the spirit to retain the spirit. Neither have he power in the day of death.
Right?
And there is no discharge in that war.
Ain't no discharge in that war. A rich man don't have power to retain the spirit, because if that was the case, Rockefeller still be here. If Liberace could have cashed in all them diamond thongs, he still be here.
Diamond thongs.
Hey, the rich would still be here. But when the death angel come, ain't no discharge in that war when he's sent. He's got his orders. You are going to leave here today. And if you look at every individual like that, your judgment and its balance and mercy will be just. But if you lean toward this individual because he got a little paper with your judgment, shame on him. Go ahead, bro.
Neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it.
Y'all see that? Neither shall wickedness deliver those who are given to it. Wickedness ain't gonna help you out. The devil don't help you do the work of the Lord. He ain't gonna never help you do the work of the Lord. You can't never say wicked. I did this wicked act because I was trying to do right by the Lord. No, you didn't. What charity you talking? What you talking? Because you gave them turkeys out on Thanksgiving, and the next day you went right back to your heroin selling to the same group of people. You just fattened them up for the kill, huh? Let's read some more.
In verse 16, thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Most High.
You do something, and then somebody take your dirty work, and you punish them for spreading your dirty work that you made up. Your dirty work. Oh, we're going to punish them for our dirty work. Are you serious? Then that means the maker just going to make some more dirty work and put it on somebody else. Read some more. 16.
Verse 17, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
See, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Look, y'all, this ain't just hating him because he may have done something to hate, because he done something to you. This is player hating. See, when it says hate in the heart, it then went beyond how the Most High say hate should be. When he says, if you don't hate your mother or your brother, if you don't hate them, you can't be my disciple. He's not talking about hate in the heart. He said that hate, the Most High said, to love less. Because you have to understand, we're talking about our brothers and our sisters. You can hate your brother, but there's a line you can't cross. You can love them less than you love this brother. It can come to that point. That don't mean you hate them. It's the same hate Jacob had for Leah and Rachel. The Lord saw that Leah was hated. Is it anywhere recorded Jacob ever said, I can't stand you? Be away with your self-dragging woman. Is that recorded anywhere? Heifer, get moving. So what hate did the Lord see from Jacob? Because babies are being born. We know he don't hate when the sun go down, that's for sure. So what hate are we talking about? To love less. If you don't love your parents less than the father and the son, you're not worthy to be his disciple. They need me. How you gonna love them more than me? How you gonna say I'm wrong if they sick? Where you think they great-great-grandparents at? You ain't crying for them? Where they at? Ain't they dead? Let's read some more.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Most High.
So, y'all, we have to understand there's rules. What happens when your brother get out of line? And y'all, we're talking about brother. We're talking about people that speaks the same language. Is it anywhere he ever called the Pharisees, the Sadducees? He said, my brothers. Is that recorded anywhere? Truly, they were his brothers because they were of the 12 tribes of Israel. But we're talking spiritual law. How you look at a neighbor spiritually first. Not the color of their skin or the tribe they come from, but the content of the law in their heart. If you ain't looking at that at your neighbor like that did, he's going to look at you just how you look at him. And y'all, we're not talking about drinking a gallon of haterade. You know, if you didn't like, hold on, like I said, rebuke him. You still can tell your brother, even if he's rich, if he's doing something that's going to cost him his life. Man, the paparazzi gonna be after you, man. If I was you, man, don't. Well, not if I was you, but man, look. If you go and they see you with this money like that, man, that's gonna violate, man. That's gonna put the assembly, or that may put our group, or that may put our brotherhood, the brotherhood of Messiah, in jeopardy, brother. You can't do that. Can't tell me what I can't do. That's it. But you can't move to see. I can't stand that nigga. He won't listen. No, you can't move to that. You rebuked. If it don't work, then the rules say you have to do this. AZ, go ahead and tell us, give me some of that 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. What he called them? Yeah.
Because they were totally against what
Was they his brothers?
they were his brother, but they still called Michael.
Yes, he did.
The doctrine they were standing on was not of him. It was not of the Father.
We trying to get the money, man.
They wanted to bring money, man.
Right. Yeah. Hit me right at give me 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. I tell you what. Yeah, go give me 3, and I want to start about. Go give me 1 through 6. But I'm looking for that. This brother, I know where it's at. Maybe 1 Corinthians 3. I mean Thessalonians 3. But go ahead, give me that right now. For now, yeah. Let me.
2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 1. Finally, brethren, pray for us that the word of the Lord may have free course. And
have what kind of course?
Free course.
Y'all see no bondage with this, y'all. We ain't gotta lock each other down. Go ahead.
And be glorified even as it is with you. And that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men. For all men have not faith. But the Lord is faithful, who shall establish you and keep you from evil. And we have confidence in the Lord touching you, that ye both do and will do the things which we command you. And the Lord direct your hearts into the love of God and into the patient waiting for Christ. Now we command you, brethren, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Who they commanding? The brethren.
In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Right.
That ye withdraw yourselves from every brother that walketh disorderly.
That's what I want. I'm right there. Hey, that's what I'm looking for. Woo! Yeah. Yo, that sometimes kick in a little bit. It ain't all the time as yet. I knew I was in there. Would say since not yet. We keep on digging that hibiscus tea and them ginger roots, and I'm gonna hold it off. Go ahead.
And not after the tradition which he received of us.
Go ahead, read smoke.
Verse 7. For yourselves know how ye ought to follow us. For we behave not ourselves disorderly among you. Neither did we eat any man's bread.
Did we eat any man's bread? Look, we just don't go for any doctrine around here. You ain't seen that. Been running like this for over 30 years. The gospel of Messiah. Ain't nothing got to change. Stick to the script. Let's read some more.
Verse 8 again. Neither did we eat any man's bread for naught, but wrought with labor and travail night and day, that we might not be chargeable to any of you. Not because we have not power, but to make ourselves an example unto you to follow us. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat.
So y'all look, you scratching, getting up when all the work been done coming in, and you yawning. Oh, y'all been to the store? No, you don't work, you don't eat.
That's right.
Them the rules. Them ain't hard. Ain't them the same rules we heard at the house? Look, you out of school, you buy your own clothes now. You don't work, you don't eat around here. Get your own food. You hear somebody say, boy, I really like them cookies. You don't like them cookies, why? Because you didn't buy them. You buy what you like. How you gonna like my cookies? I bought them. I really like that. Them's my favorite. These ain't your favorite. They can't be.
Can't be.
Ain't be your
You
favorite.
ain't ever bought.
Did we finish that, bro?
Hey, but ain't nothing like them free cookies, though.
Oh, yeah. Sure ain't,
Them
boy.
free cookies and them free beers. It be
Boy.
something special about it.
Boy, something about it. It's just the way they go down. And it's something for a boat beer, they sip slow. But that just reaching in your cooler beer, you can just hear it going down their throat.
Boy, it's so tasty.
And you like, it's
That's the best beer I ever had.
best beer I ever. Hey, let's get some more, y'all. What we had?
Back in Leviticus.
No, did he finish that? You finished that?
Verse 11.
Yeah, finish that right quick. Yeah.
For we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly, working not at all, but are busybodies.
See, not only are you not working, then you're in everybody's business. Your job is to ride around and get in somebody's business. A lot of it's being busybody on Facebook. You see somebody put up a post there, you go in their business. Where you come from? How you get on my page? Read smoke.
Verse 12. Now them that are such we command and exhort by our Lord Jesus Christ, that with quietness they work and eat their own bread. But ye, brethren, be not weary in well doing. And if any man obey not our word by this epistle, know that man and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed.
That he may be a what?
Ashamed.
See, when you cut somebody off, if the shame don't get them, everybody know why they didn't get invited. Everybody keep hearing, about an invitation, and you ain't heard yet, and you keep checking the mailbox, and yours ain't in there, and you ain't thought once it's because the last time you showed your rear end when you was there. And somebody cooler got drunk, peed on yourself. get up and stagger to another cooler. It say just he have to eat by himself, y'all. Yo, this ain't like you're alienating anybody. You just have to let them see that, look, with you or without you, we'll move on.
Right.
But if we let that behavior start to get in here, it's going to take root. And everybody's going to be going and everybody's cool. Let's read some more. Finish that out.
Verse 16. Yet count him not as an enemy.
Count him not as a what?
Enemy.
See, so we don't want to make it look, that's where the hate, see that level of hate you can't go beyond? You can't go beyond that.
Loving less.
Love less. And count him as an enemy. Pray for him. Well, you got to get away from around here. And if we're exhibiting the same behavior, they can tell us, get away from around here with that behavior. You got to go eat somewhere else. Read some more, boy. Finish that all out.
But admonish him as a brother. Now the Lord of peace himself gave you peace always by all means. The Lord be with you all. The salutation of Paul with my own hand, which is the token in every epistle, so I write. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Amen.
So, y'all, I had to get right back to that to make you understand charity, not to make you understand, to help you see charity. So you understand there's certain times that things gonna be happening within a brother, but there's a line you can't cross if you still call them brother. But the rules have to be met so that if anyone is out of line, it don't take the whole body. Yo, that ain't hard. It's just what the rules say. They ain't hard. Where we at?
Back in Leviticus.
Yes, sir. Finish that chapter out.
We're in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and we're at verse 19.
Yes, sir.
Everybody a minute to get back there. Everybody there? Let's get some understanding. Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let the cattle gender with a diverse kind.
What verse you at?
19.
Okay. All right. Let's get out of Exodus. Yeah. Shalom, y'all. Let's get it.
Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee. So now we have to look at this now. Do we keep this law to the letter? So y'all have to understand, under the priesthood of Melchizedek, it accompanies situations. When we are under Aaron, we were moving into our own land. We had our own governments. We had our own army. We had our own navy. So we were controlling everything that came in. Every manufacturer manufactured according to this. But you in the land of your captivity. Is Marshall selling Hebrew gear? What about Macy's and all of the others? Are they selling Hebrew gear according to scripture? And see, what we're talking about, right, what is closest to you, how about drawers? What's in that? What's keeping them up?
They a mixture too.
What's keeping them up?
Rubber.
Elastic. What is elastic?
Rubber.
Rubber. See, that's why it says when you offend in the law, you offend every point of it. You break one point of it. The law about this mixed garment, you may be wearing that, but it's got another side you ain't checked on. If you ain't checked on that side, you condemned, then you guilty of all the ones you correct on. Just that law, not the entire law like Christianity teaching you break one, you break them all. That ain't it. If I did this and I ain't committed this, I'm not guilty of that. I'm guilty of all of the law concerning that particular law. It's many ways. I'm guilty of all of it if I don't have all of it in my judgment when I make a decision about who it applies to, even myself. Not the whole law, just all of that law pertaining to that individual issue that's going on, so to speak. That's gone because they already. So everybody should have suspenders on their drawers.
That's elastic.
That's elastic too,
Yeah,
ain't it?
buddy.
Well, how about a hemp rope then?
Well, your drawers better be him,
Right.
or it's still mixed.
See, so and then you get into the point when the law talk about this. We're talking. These are talking about garments. That include undergarments, don't it? See, it can be all cotton, spandex, but it still got what in it. So y'all, we have to look at when the Messiah say, take no thought for what you put on. I'm worried about them clothes you got on your heart, because it's going to eventually, everything may not be expedient, but it's lawful. Eventually, you're going to have to get to the point, or you may never get to the point where you're following the law because we're in the land of our enemies. If they give you clothes, what we going to tell our ancestors? They had to take clothes from where? They didn't get to go shopping, did they? No. Yeah, man, it was rough out there in the field, man. 40 hours, no pay. Where they going shopping? Where they get their shoes from? Is they a famous name brand? No, man, a 99. Or do they get what the master don't wear no more? For being a good dude, boy, he throw you a pair of shoes, the heels so run over, you have to lay down to put them on.
You say they knew.
So thin, you step on a quarter, you can tell what year it is. That's what you got for working hard.
They was new to you.
They was new to you, though. So, y'all, we have to take in account of slavery when we're looking at this law. Where do y'all think linen came from? The flax stalk. From a stalk, linen is made. And then you get into that, women ain't supposed to wear pants. Those scriptures ain't got nothing to do with pants. Those were drawers for the priests. Because it tell you where they went. From the loin down to mid-loins, from there. Right here, midriff to mid-loins. Now, if you call those pants, and a man have those on, them hot pants. Where he gonna wear some shorts with his thighs showing like that? Linen like that. Those were undergarments for the priests, and they were linen because it absorbs sweat better than anything. It keeps you cool. It allows it to flow through. With the priests, with the many garments, they wouldn't sweat. They can't be taken in there sweaty all about the loins like a football player sacrificing. Because sweat run where? Down. You know what it do. You pull off underwear and it look like a footprint in it. You know what sweat do. You can't be in there. If you sweating, you done seen yours. It's sweat. It's the same thing happening with your socks, man. That's what it was for, so you know the whole law about it. Y'all know when pants first came out in the 1400s, Chinese invented pants because their women horse riders, they didn't want them wearing dresses. And their first pair was skinny jeans, made for a woman, the first pair of pants. Everybody else wore robes. So how you gonna even get in an argument talking about a woman ain't supposed to wear pants when the first pair of pants on earth was made for a woman? Know your history. Know what you're talking about. Because if you got on a pair of pants, when you look at how they made, then you got on woman clothes. Be careful. Look at where the first pair of pants came from. Because what's in Leviticus is talking about drawers, not pants. Let's read some more.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 20.
What it say?
And whosoever lieth carnally with a woman that is a bondmaid, betrothed to an husband, and not at all redeemed, nor freedom given her, she shall be scourged. They shall not be put to death, because she was not free. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Most High, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, even a ram for a trespass offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before the Most High for his sin which he hath done. And the sin which he hath done shall be forgiven him.
So this is a situation we get into, some Ruth and Boaz and some different issues surrounding that. So when you kind of look at this law, it kind of explains things. Everything done in the Bible about people from other nations coming, if you think it's an Israelite of another nation, it's still going to have to go according to the law. And there's going to be language that lets you know it's according to the law. Slow, y'all. Let's get it.
Verse 23.
Uh-huh.
And when ye shall come into the land, and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then ye shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be as uncircumcised unto you. It shall not be eaten of. But in the 4th year, all the fruit thereof shall be holy, to praise the Most High withal. And in the 5th year shall ye eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. I am the Most High, your Elohim.
See, you can't eat away your substance, so to speak. Y'all, because we'll be plucking everything off as fast as they come off. We wouldn't give time to grow. We'd hurry up and destroy the land so fast. You have to give land time to rest. Everything has to obey the Sabbath. You can't overwork the land. Go ahead.
Verse 26. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, nor observe time.
So you can't eat blood, and usually that comes with roots. Understand why I'm saying eating blood and enchantments in the same thing. That's why brothers had a hard time eating a new woman's spaghetti. Because of the rumors out there.
Yeah.
Y'all know. Y'all done heard about the rumors. Let's read on.
Verse 27. Ye shall not round the corner of your beard, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
Read that again.
Ye shall not round the corners of your head. I said beard.
Yeah.
Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard. So we got some issues here. Unless your head's shaped like a stack of flapjacks and you got corners on it, you truly a blockhead. So you have to understand, if your head, most heads are kind of oval in shape. What it's saying, mar. The key word is mar. And we'll say it again. When you look up the word mar, it means to completely destroy. If you destroy your hair follicles, you have broken the law. There's Nazarite vows that you have to cut your hair and all your beard off. This law, that law can't supersede that law unless you understand what it means. You know, so you say you can't shave or cut your hair, you can't do these things. It says to destroy your beard. If you cut it off like some, if you had a full beard in the 8th grade, yes, if you had that beard in the 8th grade. See, like, you know, because he would look like the substitute teacher, his mom would take him to get his beard waxed so it wouldn't grow. So he looked like he's supposed to look on the graduation picture with his other students. So that's why, remember our one partner, his mama used to, well, he had to go get his face waxed. Because I'm talking about he was like this in the 7th and 8th grade. Either he was older than us and just wasn't telling, or he was sprouting so much hair at such a young age that he had to try to blend in at his youth. Now, it was working reverse. He was doing things to make himself look younger, you know, at that age. He was getting rid of stuff instead of like people at that age are trying to look older. You want to look older. You get a fake ID to look older. But he had to go the opposite way at an early age.
You know, so all of those laws surround the beard and cut your hair. Absalom in 2 Samuel cut his hair off once a year. His fro was so big, it weighed 3 or 4 shekels. Once a year, he pulled all his hair, just cut his hair off. Not once does it say, and he violated the law of Leviticus 19 in doing so. Behavior is always checked when there's a law being broken. Because if the Most High don't remind you, Satan gonna remind the Most High. He breaking your law. You gonna get me and ain't gonna get him? He get a pass on that? So there was laws when you read number 6 chapter about a Nazarite. He could be, I'm gonna do a 60-day Nazarite fast and become a Nazarite. If he in week number 2 and he come across a dead body, somebody just have a heart attack right by him and die, he got to start over. Cut all the hair off of his body. When you're a leopard, when you get into Leviticus 13th chapter and 14th chapter, you had to cut all the hair off your body because leprosy is in the hair. Not only that, but cut your eyebrows off too. Now you think somebody coming somewhere and ain't got no eyebrows. I mean, that's an alien look already. He's like, something wrong here. He got a sign eyebrows. So y'all, those laws were cutting. If that's in that law, then this law overrides those. Then in leprosy, you can't do nothing. You got to leave that hair on. So you have to be complete in the full law when it's talking about a particular subject. Everywhere it mentions that subject of hair, you have to know it. Let's get some more, y'all. We'll finish this on out.
Verse 28.
Uh-huh.
Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Most High.
So some say, well, it just said you can't print nothing for the dead. That ain't what it said. It said clearly, you should not make any cuttings in your flesh. These fraternities brand you. Slave masters branded you. Those are cutting in the flesh. That skin will never be the skin you were born with because it does what? Keloids over. Right? So it will never, ever be your skin unless you get some form of plastic surgery. Take the skin from somewhere else, cut that off, and try to mesh that back in to where it'll look normal. No marks on your body. If you've done them, it has to be the last one. Can't go back to the tat shop. You have to understand, I did that when I didn't know this law. Because people will judge your outer cup when they see you come. Look, you got that swastika with the cross in the middle. This is an undercover such and such. Because what you put on your body. You can't put on that rest in peace, little Bobo. No marks for the dead, because there's a super mark that's coming called the mark of the beast. And if you get comfortable with that, this mark is still talking about that mark in prophecy. It's the same marking of the flesh, ain't it? It said, cause every man to do that first up here. They're going to mark you in your mental first so that you do this. It have to mark you up here first. So then you show everybody what's up here. So y'all, if that was the last one, let it be the last one. I know they got new ink shows out there and they make it look glamorous, but it's just Satan tempting you. And you get with somebody, we always doing this bootleg, you get with somebody can't spell, you'll have no regrets on them. Now you gonna put an X through that like a paper. You writing it, don't look at that, you just gonna have an X through that. You done somebody messed up because he do tattoos in the back of the barbershop for $12. Let's read some more. Finish that out.
Verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness.
See, so don't prostitute your daughters, because fathers would say there's something called the bride price. A father could ask the price of the virgin, but it was a set price. That's why David said, I'm a poor man. I know I ain't got money for a king. He wasn't saying I ain't got zero paper, but he said, I can't marry a king's daughter. I'm nowhere in the line for the bride price of a king's daughter. But men would call for the highest bidder for their daughter. Where you work at? Oh, no, boy. You get on Wall Street, come back and holler at me. Next! And then he would set it up to where they may have been with a man, he ain't told nobody. He's prostituting her now. They have to send her back after do. He just getting paper off of her. Men were doing that. Prostituting their daughters for pay. Because they knew a dowry had to come to them. That's where they had to have that hymen sheet when you read in Numbers 5 to make sure she was a virgin that would be given to the father. But every time somebody got an ought against her, he ain't got the sheet. Oh, you know, I threw that out. Look, man, I mess around and mix my clothes with it. The old lady washed it. No, that ain't the right blood on that sheet. Y'all running a scam here. And y'all, these things are still happening today. You just seen Hamite, the Nigerian that killed a little white girl. She says she's a sugar baby looking for a sugar dad. Well, she ran into the right one. Some Hamite that been watching bad movies on the dark web wanted some contractor to put hooks on the wall and make the room soundproof. Got rid of the mattress, found her body burned up in his backyard. They bring him out. He looking like, what? What? They like, you know why we here? You met her in the park. You know why we here. Burned her up too and had to go tell her, boy, he's in for a world of trouble. He probably consumed so many booger sandwiches already. And the hourly beat up. You torture her and then you burn her body. And I got to go tell her parents that. Y'all, these are some harsh times. The love of many is waxing cold. But y'all read that order. And we're going to get down here to one where one lady shot another lady that was pregnant by the one man. And they charged a woman who's pregnant with murder of the unborn child.
Because she
Why? They say she started to fight with the woman that had the pistol that shot her in the stomach. But she got charged with the murder because she started to fight. But Alabama is the state that they have zero tolerance for abortion. They say the minute the heartbeat stopped, child, hardcore results of what they're doing. Y'all, and these scriptures get into these things to see if they are furthering the affliction. You got to know on this young lady, if the affliction is being furthered on her about a fetus. Yeah, there's laws in here about that too, y'all. We're going to hit them in just a second. We'll go to Exodus 21 and 22. But I want to hit that verse first, though, so that y'all, we understand, you know, that if two men scrapping him and his woman pregnant, she trying to break him up. He's so wild, he swing, hit her in the stomach. Y'all, ain't nothing we see on the news ain't happened already, and it ain't a law concerning it. You ain't the first one that these things are happening to. Technology is just this. Let's read some more. Let's get down to that. Well, y'all, I'm going to come right back to that so we get some understanding on that.
We're in verse 30 of Leviticus 19. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Most High.
See, keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. Keep it holy unto the Lord. Your sanctuary, which this is your sanctuary now, that has to be kept holy for the Lord. He ain't coming in with a bunch of different doctrines in there. He ain't knocking on that door. No, that's an orgy going on in there. All the mixed doctrines up in there.
Right.
Let's read some more.
Verse 31. Regard not them that are familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards, to be defiled by them. I am the Most High, your Elohim.
Same thing in Deuteronomy 18, familiar spirits, y'all. That's talking about conjuring up somebody or some spirit that was back 100 years ago. They're familiar with what's going on. See, that's why there's nothing new under the sun. You conjure up a familiar spirit. They tell you what happened years ago, just briefly. They've been around. But the future is only this far from them. It's like the demons asked the Messiah, you here to torment us before the time? You early. So I say, even demons on the game. Why ain't the saints? Let's read some more.
Verse 32.
What it say?
Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head, and honor the face of the old man, and fear thy El Elyon. I am the Most High.
So that say rise up before them. You ought to be up before them. Why they keep waking you up? And honor the face of that. It didn't give no distinction here. There's a line you can't cross with people that are older than you, whether they know the truth or not, because it's somebody else's mother. And if you realize, man, the woman you cussed out, that's your brother that over there, that you met over there, that's his mama. What? Man, you know I wouldn't have did that, man, but I don't know, man, your mama was in thought mode that day. What? How is it ever going to be accepted? How? Read some over. Finish that out.
Verse 33.
Uh-huh.
And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land.
In your what?
In your land.
Uh-huh.
Ye shall not vex him. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself. For ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Most High, your power.
So it helps you understand Deuteronomy 23 a little bit better. When you're seeing down to verse 7, it helps you understand that. Or we got a 13th tribe. Ain't nobody talking about, called the stranger. These Israelites, they can't never get their mind right. Something is up with these strangers of Israel that they can't get their mind right, that you just can't give them Israelite status. But they got to keep the law. Don't make sense, do it? It can't be but who it is, other nations that's among you that have to obey your law. You have to look at them the same when they're in your same space. Because if it don't, you're player hate. You may be getting something out of it. Let's read some more.
Verse 35.
Uh-huh.
Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment.
No unrighteousness in what?
In judgment.
Uh-huh.
In meat yard, in weight, or in measure.
It says no unrighteousness. So you have to know the law about judgment. If somebody bring you a judgment to administer, you have to know the law, or you have to back out and say, bro, this way above my pay grade. The judgment on this. I can't make this. You're going to have to talk to somebody. Y'all don't have to do this. You have to know where you can get in at. There's certain boundaries that you can't even get into the discussion about. Did you finish that?
Now we got two more.
Okay.
36. Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin.
Uh-huh.
Shall ye have. I am the Most High, your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe all my statutes and all my judgments, and do them. I am the Lord.
So he said, whatever business you have to do it accordingly. If this person say, I want that much, give them that much. That's what he paying for, ain't he? then you won't have to explain why it is. So when he just measure it, it'll be the right measure. That's what you're supposed to do. And we're talking about the brethren of the faith, because if you ain't gonna do it with them, we know what you're gonna do with the outside. What we're talking about is how you treat each other on the inside. If you're hustling each other, what is that gonna do for the kingdom? You hustling me. Chapter 20.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 1.
What it say?
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Molech.
Giveth his seed unto what?
Molech. He shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones.
Now, we have a lot of people that look at this law, y'all. We can't lie on Satan. Even though he got the death penalty, can't be pardoned, we still cannot lie on him. Sacrificing to Molech may seem like abortion into people's eyes because they say it may be fire. But the difference in when you understand what that sacrifice was, it was planned by both parties to give it to the fire. You look at your woman and you're like, look, the Molech festival coming up in 10 months. If we get started now, we have something to offer, baby. And the man and the woman would get together and she would get pregnant. And their whole hope is to deliver the baby to Molech for a sacrifice. And it says seed, that means male or female, right? So she was like, yeah, that's it. It would be like if y'all ever got the movie, look it up, called Rosemary's Baby. And they would take the baby and give it. Most abortions or different things like that is a mistake. I thought you said you was only going to put the covenant in. Well, you said you was on the pill. We got a baby. What do we do about the baby? It's called Planned Parenthood. We could give it to them. See, you're making the agreement after the act. Sacrifice to Molech was before the act. That's how much we love Molech, that our planned pregnancy. So we ain't got no argument with each other. When we give it to them, we both high-fiving each other because we planned that. This over here is a mistake. What we gonna do? I'm 38 and you 14. What we gonna do?
Wow.
We got to do something. Y'all, and when it hit. Conception means to make pregnant. They don't have the week after pill, do they? What is the pill called? The morning after? The morning after, y'all. Y'all, that's because they don't know conception is like that. To make pregnant is like that. You don't get to think about it. So, y'all, it's responsibility is what this is showing. Don't give them to Molech. Don't raise your child to be thick. Like people have them in their womb say, he gonna be a player when he come out. He gonna be a paper chaser. Yeah, he gonna be, and they're announcing what the child is gonna be in the womb. Those are sacrifices for that child. How you gonna bring him up as a paper chaser? He gonna have all the little girls. In what grade are you speaking of? He gonna be a kindergarten gigolo? Where my 9 ladies, baby? You know what it is. Where we at?
Verse 3. And I will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people, because he hath given his seed unto Molech, to defile my sanctuary, and to profane my holy name.
What you laughing at, boy? That's Jacob. Go ahead.
And if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man, when he giveth of his seed unto Molech, and kill him not, then I will set my face against that man, and against his family, and will cut him off, and all that go a whoring after him, to commit whoredom with Molech from among their people.
So it was a very strict law that you couldn't allow nobody to pull you into their transgression. You have to tell them, no, partner, I can't advise you on that. I wasn't there. I don't know what agreements y'all made, but I cannot advise you, or I'm gonna be partaker of what happened in them chambers. I don't want to be responsible for that. I'm your partner, but I have to rebuke you this way. I can't be included, because it's gonna come back on me. Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
And
the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after the wizard, to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. Sanctify yourselves, therefore, and be ye holy, for I am the Lord your God.
So when it says sanctify yourself or call yourself, look, a lot of people think this means saying I'm saved. You have to understand, saved means free from the judgment of the Messiah into the lake of fire. Who can raise their hand right now and say I'm saved from that? Because the prerequisite is I'm gonna check the law, and that's how I'm gonna judge you to see if you're saved. If you're saved already now, then you're free of judgment day. You have to understand that we may be saved from the trials of this world. I may be saved from 2 gallons of hen I was drinking a day, or smoking an ounce of crack 2 weeks ago, or running over here and doing that, sticking my hand in that. I may be saved from that, but eternal damnation, who can raise their hand to say I'm free from that judgment because I know I didn't do anything worthy for him to put me in the lake of fire? And we ain't got a clue what his laws are. When he start running law on you and show you your consciousness always know right from wrong. It's in your DNA, so it was without excuse. You know when somebody's getting you to steal. Where y'all get that from? We got a way we know how to get it. And you don't have to pay no money for it. Yeah, well, I seen some guards up there. Oh, well, see, we got a plan for him. So when you see us do this, that means go ahead and get that. Well, in your mind, what is your mind telling you that is? So what do you still do? Think the plan will work. It's like bank robbers. Become a career criminal, a burglar. Man, how you get caught? I clipped a green wire on that new burglar 3005. Oh man, you didn't know they got the 3006 out. It's a yellow wire now. Oh, damn! Instead of him quit being a burglar, when he get out, he's looking for the yellow wire now. Well, the yellow wire have been turned purple now. Back to work. The penitentiary. Let's read some more.
Verse 8. And ye shall keep my statutes and do them. I am the Lord which sanctify you. For everyone that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. He hath cursed his father or his mother, his blood shall be upon him. So how does that violate what the Messiah said? If you don't hate your mother or your father more than me, you're not worthy to be my disciple. Is the Lord telling him, the Messiah telling him to break this law? No. Or is there a different level of hate that the Most High means to love less? See, there's something in Psalm 139, 21 and 22. David said, I count them that hate you with perfect hatred. I count them my enemies. Your only enemy hates the Father and the Son. Right now, it's Satan. For sure, he hates the Father and the Son. And everything he does is against him. So you can't celebrate Halloween. You're at church and call it trunk or treat. Because the world is doing it, you don't want to be left out.
So you say we'll do the folly day. We'll just bring all the candy to the church, and the preacher will give out the candy from the trunk of his car. Well, the only problem is you don't know Deacon Johnson is a pedophile. And he was first in line at the candy store getting every brand. And he's whispering while he's handing out candy at trunk or treat. There's more where I live. One for you, a Chico stick for you, and a sugar baby for you. There's more Chico sticks where I live. How you gonna be attacking the devil for 364 days and then one day you cool with him? Yeah, it's just a holiday.
It's for the kids.
It's for the kids. That's right. That's what they want you to think. It's for the kids because that's what they got the candy for, the kids. They ain't passing out to you big grown people, is it? Give me 2 of them Snickers and 1 of them payday. Anything that you have to check for razor blade, how you participate? Hold on, I gotta check y'all bags. What kind of sense do that make?
Right.
You had to break stuff over and put it under an x-ray. That was good. It's is that a bullet in this Snicker?
Bullet in a sticker.
Let's read some more. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, sis.
Would that be the same as if you describe what I'm saying, there's nothing in the sin?
Right.
And because the same thing is going on in Molech, the Ammonites, that the Ammonites were known to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why they had children. Sacrifices.
They were planned sacrifices. See, we had one that we would sacrifice our firstborn, but it wasn't really putting them to death. See, it was to the point that where he gave Abraham was going to do Isaac, right? But he gave him to Isaac. He didn't give it to him to do that. He was trying Abraham's faith, at that point. But he never had you do anything that he wouldn't do or was prepared to do. So he had the Messiah already on deck. That was from Genesis 3:16. That was before the flood. What he had planned for his son, Abraham, is after the flood. So when he told him, it was already locked on deck, Genesis 3:16, about the Messiah. So this was already prophesied that the Messiah was going to handle this business. So what he told Abraham to do was not a sacrifice of Molech. It was just obedience to the Lord. He said, Lord, you gave me, you take me away. If that's what you say, that's what the deal is. But look, when you get into Jasher 21st chapter, Isaac had already said, he told Ishmael about circumcision. He said, you bragging that you was first circumcised, but that little piece of flesh ain't about nothing. If my father put me on the altar, I'd go. And look, we think that he was a little child, like young brothers over here. Isaac was 37 years old when Abraham put him on the altar. 37. He was called a lad because he had not been with a woman. Like if a woman is 60 and she ain't never been with a man before, is she still a virgin? Yeah, she is. She's just a 60-year-old virgin. Isaac was just a 37-year-old laddie. Let's read some more.
Verse 10. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. And the man that lieth with his father's wife hath uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So when you get into Leviticus 18th chapter, you understand what uncovering a man's nakedness it means, and all of that means just coming close to kin. That's his neck. You gotta go, Jay? Okay. That's uncovering his nakedness. That belongs to him. Even though you're not pulling off his clothes,
it still belongs to him because you're one flesh. That's what it's saying, that both of them be put to death. Now that's law. Why was David spared? We just read law, didn't we? Why was David spared? That's the question, right? You don't think a naysayer gonna ask you this? See, we keep thinking we are with Israel, but it's gainsayers and naysayers out there that read these scriptures that are saying, why was David not put to death? You can't make up nothing. I see the Lord to spare who he wants to spare. What is that got to do with this law? So, okay, so it's a crapshoot. I can break the law. He may punish me. He may not. Is that written in the Bible? So why was David not put to death? We're going to get to that. But I want y'all to finish this out. Read a little bit more of this.
Verse 12.
What it say?
And if a man lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have wrought confusion. Their blood shall be upon them.
It's confusion if you get with your daughter-in-law. What the child gonna call? Po-po daddy? Po-po daddy. Po-po daddy-in-law. What do you call you, man? Don't even worry about it, dog. You know these kids today. Po-po daddy. Do y'all know the talk over there in the Demona desert? That the son of Ben-Ami, which should be his grandson. And guess who told on him? Prince Asiel, his right-hand man that led all of that. Where they got the boy that say, my Abba, my father is my Abba. Ben-Ami's son by his daughter. Over there in what they call the kingdom of God. Y'all understand why these laws are so important? When you surround us and you set up a kingdom where somebody else is controlling the land, you cannot exact your laws because they're not listening to them. You're going to fall in the trap because you're trying to make a kingdom in somebody else's kingdom. When you ever seen that? What the script say? You have to do what to a strong man?
Bind him.
And then take the house. You done bound yourself around a Home Depot fence all around this compound. You talking about this the kingdom of God. Streets painted yellow with Sherwin number 3257. Gold. Yeah, see them streets of gold, dog, what they look like you painted them and missed the spot right there. That ain't what Revelation is talking about, the kingdom of the Most High coming down with pure gold.
Right.
Not Sherwin-Williams. 3527. Finish that up, bro. And I'm coming back to a couple items really quick, y'all. We're going to finish on out here. We're going to get out of here early today.
Verse 13.
What it say?
If a man also lie with mankind, as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
So, how you get out of this, I don't know, but most with the major Pride Fest that's going on tomorrow and all this weekend, they got it coming up, y'all. They are dominating with it. They say the Messiah never said anything against it. He did. How about he said, I didn't come to destroy the law, nor the prophets. I come to fulfill. And if he's going to fulfill this, there may be problems, ain't it?
But you notice too that that's not committing fornication or adultery. It's an abomination.
It's bestiality.
Exactly.
And then got the nerve to be waving the covenant colors.
Right.
You remember, you ain't gonna kill us.
With pride.
No, that ain't the offense.
See, you can't recreate the Most High's laws. He said that was an exit.
Right.
A woman has an entrance. You cannot make an exit an entrance, or you're changing the order of the Most High. You cannot cut off that and make it an entrance, manhood, and make it an entrance, because the body tells it to close itself up, because it's an open wound. It's not a W-O-M-B, it's a W-O-U-N-D. It's a cut wound, because something was cut off of that manhood and made into a slit. It's going to try to close back up like wounds do. So you have to be on steroids and different things to try to keep an open wound. W-O-N-D. It's not a W-O-M-B. And if you see some stilettos this big, you know it's trouble. You see somebody walking hard like Festus with a dress on and some stilettos this big. They got out there now. What's that Hebrew name? Talking about single now. They got everything cut out. What y'all know out there that was in that new oranges and new black or whatever it is. All those plastered over the front of the newspaper, y'all. Are we in the days of Noah? Are we in that generation? See, we can't hate to the point that we hate prophecy, because prophecy will go away in your mind. You can't say, I just hate what they doing like that. You hate the sin. But there's a time period that you're watching for to see if you in that generation. That where it's going to be like the days of Noah and like the days of what? Sodom and Gomorrah. And it wasn't just only man on man, woman on woman. It was man on beast, man on boy, man on child. That's what was going on. It was a sexual frenzy. They were trisexuals. They were trying anything. Do y'all know there's something called mechanical something satisfaction, that where a man will get with the tailpipe of a car? Okay.
He fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
Look, all y'all have to do is Google it. It's actual pictures out there caught and they run away. See? Sometimes you gotta watch TV for fact-finding mission. Y'all ever watch Ridiculousness?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, y'all. Some of the things that people are doing. All y'all have to do is Google it right now. What do you call that fetish of handling a car like it's a woman? See, they done took it past when men name their cars a woman's name. Man, check out Shirley, boy. Yeah, dog, she clean overall up. They take it a step further. I know y'all, somebody to Google it already. It's out there. Who got a question? You, AZ?
Men coming in with things.
Gerbil?
Yes.
Yeah.
They got to move or retreat.
See, y'all, because they're looking for gratification for 2 or 20 minutes, then it's over. It has nothing, zero to do with what Most High said, man and woman. All it is for that brief moment of satisfaction, and whatever get that, if it happens the way I need it to, then that's what I'll go for. So you have to understand that, say, when we get in those times, know that it's at the door. Mm-hmm. It's even at the door. It don't mean we fully into it. It's just knocking now, looking to come in. You can't watch TV now unless you're prepared to watch it. They want it to be comfortable in your psyche. That's why you have to be judged and make sure you don't judge wrong concerning this situation. Because when you look at that Central Park 5, and what happened to individuals if they go to jail. This demon is forced on them. So judgment have to be made accordingly to that. Where we at? Finish that up, bro.
Verse
14.
Verse 14. And if a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you.
See, now these are felony sins. These are death penalty sins according to the Most High. A woman and her mother. How that look, both of them standing in front of the man tomorrow? You're going to have to choose up, Henry, me or her. Everybody get burnt with fire. See, that's what was going to happen to Judah when Tamar played the harlot. They said, burn her with fire. See, that's the law, and that was that judgment. You can't make judgment of a different event, something else. It ain't written that way. She played the harlot because Judah was supposed to give her to the next son in line. Every son was dying, so he held back on the baby boy. Then he decided and he was a widower at the time, he was going to stop in Brooklyn. There she was sitting by the roadside of those Canaanite women. Their law was before they get married, the woman sow her oats before she get married. She sit on the street corner and take everybody with some money in their pocket the days before she get with her husband.
What, to get broken in or something?
Yeah. Well, it's like test driving for everybody in the neighborhood. That was the law of that nation, but Judah went up there and knew it was loose women up there, but it was legal in that city over there that you could do that. But the problem was he was drunk. So he made that decision already a sinner because he was full. She said, "What a paper at?" I ain't got no paper, but here the staff. And here my signet. Hold that for me till I come back. Blow them candles out. And put twins in them.
Lights.
And they said, "Tamar, Judah, you done heard Tamar done played the harlot. Boy, your baby boy supposed to be wife done played the harlot, man. It's all over the streets and in the Daily Mail." What? What? Where's she at? Where the fire? He walking with a torch. Where's she at? I don't know. She was here. They look, where that harlot at? They like, ain't no harlots around here. That's over now. Ain't no harlots around. No, she was here. It was this corner. I know it was this corner. They like, no, partner. So finally, when they caught up with her, they say, who the man you with? Because we need to kill him too, according to the law. And she said, I don't know where he went, but here his staff is. And here's his ring. And here's his bracelet. And it was just like a driver's license. Judah, fourth son of Israel. Residence Jericho. That's me. He said, first, she been more righteous than me. But why were they both not put to death? Y'all, if somebody of another doctrine asks us about this, how do we answer this? Because right now it looks like certain people is getting away with certain things. Is it because he's the head of a tribe? Why are we letting Judah get off the hook? It's Ezekiel 18, 1 John, verse 8. If we acknowledge our transgressions, he's able to forgive us. Hold this, y'all, right there. That's why I want to get to 2 Samuel, chapter 12. And because we're hitting 2 right here, I want y'all to get the understanding of why David in Acts 13:23, it says he had a heart like mine on. So does that mean the Messiah would have committed adultery? Or what does it mean when it says David had a heart like mine on? You know what I'm saying? What does it mean when it says David had a heart like mine on and David up on the chopping blocks, and we got this Leviticus hanging over his head. Yo, we have to be ready to answer all things that you don't profane the name. Y'all, do y'all know y'all can profane the name of the Lord when you talking about how you love? I love the Lord. I'm talking about more than Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall and Coming to America. I love the Lord. I love the Lord. But yet, if somebody bring you this, your book is full of contradictions. Why was David not punished? Why was Judah not burnt with fire? And then you want to tell me I can't march down the street with a pair of thigh-high boots on and no drawers in the pride. Y'all didn't kill him? How do we answer, y'all? How do we not profane the name of the Lord? How do you dare not say, well, we can agree to disagree on that when you can go and wear your boots. You can look like Prince on his first album if you want. I ain't gonna judge you. Second Samuel, y'all, we're just gonna hit this really quick and come right back. Y'all, we got a couple more, we're gonna close out.
So,
Go ahead, bro.
you gonna still hold the other one, man?
Yeah.
We're starting at verse 1.
Yes, sir.
2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 1. And Elohim sent Nathan unto David.
Who he saying?
Nathan.
See, Nathan was a prophet of the Lord. See, prophets don't care what your status is. A prophet order is, I don't care how mean they look. I don't care how they forehead may look like flint rock. It could be hard as Rufus R. Jones. Some of y'all don't know about Rufus R. Jones, but check some wrestling at the Chase. It was a Hebrew that could headbutt you unconscious for 3 weeks. He said, I don't care. Look right back at them in their eyes and tell them the Lord is ready to exact vengeance. Let's read what it says.
And the Lord sent Nathan unto David, and he came unto him and said unto him, there were 2 men in one city, the one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds,
right?
But the poor man had nothing.
Now we just went over about how to treat the poor man, and then we just go over that in law. So see how Nathan is bringing forth law to make judgment on David. It's not that Nathan is making up a parable. He's using the law as a parable. A poor man and a rich man, and judgment between the two. Let's read some more.
But the poor man had nothing save one eland.
What he had?
An eland. Which he had bought and nourished up.
See what he do?
Bought and nourished up.
So he paid the bride's price, didn't he? He was a poor man, but his wedding was what he could afford. He didn't just get with no woman. It says he paid a price, didn't it? At his level, he may have just had a few of his family members, and they had the wedding ceremony at his house in his room, and then they had a feast around it, maybe 6, 7 people. Ain't nowhere in the law it says you have to set it out. Ain't nowhere it have to be 5 months' salary for a ring for her. It's what you can set out and what your heart do. Because if it was about money, ain't nobody in here could stack it out. Well, basketball players are a different thing. Like Abraham sent for Rebecca, but she was a young girl. Each one of them bracelets weighed shekels. Yeah. The gift she had was upwards in the $20,000 and $30,000 worth of gifts for a girl who wasn't even a teenager yet. But it was a future marriage. And then he gave gifts to all her brothers, the family, the daddy. That's what he said. It said, fine Egyptian silk. Gucci. To all the parents. Now, they didn't say once that, hey, this, they like, you going, baby? You want to go? What? No, she can't go. They asked her, a young maid, this is truth from the Lord. Do you want to go? She said, yeah, I'll go. Yes, sir. I'll go. But they didn't send a 10-year-old girl. They sent the nurse Deborah, who's talked about in the 12 patriarchs. Naphtali talked about how he loved this. Genesis 35 talk about Deborah, the nurse, who was the big mom. Like you see Martin Lawrence play Big Mama. Deborah was the big mom. She made sure Isaac didn't come around before time was due, like Ezekiel 16 say. And when her time is ready for love, then he put a covering over her. That's what the script say. And Big Mom was there. Isaac, you better get your horny out of here if it came to that. She ain't ready for that. There was rules. They didn't just send her by herself. Her nurse came with her and watched everything. No, Isaac, you got at least, if it was today, you got at least 20, 25 before you could come in this tent. That ain't a problem with men like that. Jacob worked how many years?
Better get that number right.
20 total. It's 7 some action happened, but he technically worked 20 because he still had to give Leah her wedding week. It's a Sabbath in a week. Does it say save the honeymoon the Sabbath day of that week? Is that anywhere written? So a man can be with his wife in that wedding week, can't he? Where it says save the Sabbath, is that written anywhere? During his week. Judges 14, same week. Week, how many days in a week? Does it say save the Sabbath day? Hips should be free of swimming. Let's get it. Where we at?
Verse 3 again.
What it say?
But the poor man had nothing save one little eland,
right,
which he had bought and nourished up. It grew up together with him and with his children. It did eat of his own meat and drank of his own cup and lay in his bosom and was unto him as a daughter.
See, this is how he treated his wife, just a regular brother working a 9 to 5. A poor man. Y'all, there's poverty levels. All y'all have to do is check it right now and you be stunned. See, y'all, we think we may be living a little bit comfortable, but you be like, damn, I'm $30,000 in the poverty list. But it's comfortable with us because we know how to survive. What the hell does a recession mean to us? Tuesday. Tuesday, that's what it means. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Where we at?
Verse 4. And there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take his own flock and of his own herd, to dress for the wayfaring man that was come unto him, but took the poor man's land and dressed it for the man that was come unto him.
Now he got plenty herds, and the one man with just one ewe lamb. The rich man come, he got paper. You take his only one and you dress it up for this man that's coming from out of town. You don't even know him. He's a wayfared man. That means he's just a traveler coming through, got paper. You know he got paper because he's driving a Rolls Royce Camp coming through there. Saddlebags, you can see the treasure chest with the gold is lined in gold. You know he got paper. It's like, why would you buy a superstar a drink because you see him in the club? Who you gonna tell it on Facebook? Man, I just bought Jordan a drink. So you closer to poverty than you was. Hell, he can buy the bar out with pocket change. I'm talking about the watch pocket change, that little pocket on your jeans. That'll buy the bar out. And you buying for him, you done got beside yourself, and you cussing your partner out that you told to come go out with me. Man, nigga, one drink, you still asking for another drink? If I'd have known you was gonna be thirsty like that, I'd have left you alone. That Jordan, hey, let me buy you a drink. Judgment of the poor and the rich, not the beggar. Let's read some more.
Verse 5. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man. And he said to Nathan, as the Lord liveth.
I swear for living God. Ain't that what we say? I swear for living God. Go ahead.
As the Lord liveth, the man that hath done this thing shall surely die.
He said, may die. What'd he say?
Shall surely die.
I'm thinking about killing him later.
Surely.
This is judgment from the king. Let's read some more.
And he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity.
Had no what?
Pity.
Y'all see the key words of what David is saying in his punishment, still as adhering to the law. He said judgment was made with no what? No mercy. If you judge like that, you are going to be judged like that. Because it's what you're used to. It's what you inside of you is acceptable for correcting behavior. It comes out of my mouth though. Let's read some more.
Verse 7. And Nathan said to David, thou art that man.
Let him get it off. He just sit back like this, gave the parable, and let him get it off. Nathan was just doing like this. It's you. It's you. Now David, armed soldiers, immediately jumped up with spurs and probably put them to Nathan's neck. You think Nathan worried about that? Nathan said, go on, do it. Hurry up and speed me to the kingdom. Speed it up, fellas. What else to say?
Thou art the man.
Thou art who?
The man. Thus says the Lord God of Israel, anointed the king over. I anointed the king over Israel.
Right.
And delivered thee out of the hand of Saul.
Right.
And I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things.
How many wives did Saul have? At Jonathan's mama, he called a whore and cussed Jonathan out about his mama because he sided with David. That wasn't his other sister's mama, because he told him, he said, the only reason you side with David is because your mama was a whore. Never should have put my seed in your old whore mama. This how he talked to Jonathan, him and his little sister, but he had other children. So if he gave him Saul's house and wives with an S on the end and would have given you more, this is the major one that they'll run, the polygamists will run to. The problem is you don't know judgment about this, and you're letting them bring forth David in punishment as uplifting for them, and you don't see it. David is being punished with this. You're letting them use this as a right for polygamy. Yeah, if they saying I gave you multiple wives, but you're not looking at the situation, what's happening when you're using the scripture. You're not watching what you're saying because you only see one side right there. The Lord gave David multiple wives. There's another problem with this we just read. A man shall not take his wife and his daughter. Who was David married to? Saul's daughter, wasn't it? If he gave him Saul's wife, his master's wives, and he married his daughter, is he married to both the daughter and the mother? Do we have a problem with the Leviticus we just read? What if the Egyptologists bring you this? What we gonna say? What we gonna say? Oh, see, brother, right there. See, the Lord got away when he do something. You can't question him. Is that gonna get it? You think you can bail out on that? You can't bail out on that. You got to get down to business and say, what is going on here? The Bible don't contradict itself. Never will the Most High break his own laws. So one or two things is happening here. Either his master's wives is not the mother of the daughter of Saul. She's somebody else's mother. And you have to dig down in there and find that. You cannot leave that left open. One of the other things when I studied the 100 contradictions of the Bible, this was one of them. You have to dig deep, because guess who wrote it? A Muslim. Faith believer. The 100 contradictions of the Bible. How you worried about another Israelite? No, he Israel. It's this Israelite that's pumping the moon god that has a problem with these writings. And he calling you on it. And you back heaven. The Lord can do what he want to do. He have mercy on who he is. That ain't got nothing to do with judgment. Law, statutes, and what? The Lord ain't made no decision on David like this without a law being there to explain it. It's like Jacob. Thou shalt not marry sisters, and both of them still alive. Leah and Rachel were twins. Did he marry both of them? So the law was broke before the 12 tribes ever got started. Or how do we answer that? What are you doing marrying sisters? When he found out it was Leah, should he told Rachel, I know I work for you, but I just can't. I can't. But the Lord got a way of fixing things. So how did he get back in good graces? No baby for you for a while. And then when you do have one, he took her breath away from her. She died pregnant on the second one, I should say. Yeah. Popping them out. Because she was officially, even though it was trickery, was the wife of his bosom, of his youth. Malachi chapter 2. Because she was his first wife. So she was still the wife of his bosom. So those rules still applied to Leah, even though it was done in trickery. You know the only reason the trickery worked? Because he tricked Isaac and put goat hair on his neck. And he got a blessing before he was sent away. So it comes back full circle. And you always say, when you use that other word out there, karma is a what? Y'all know what it say, a female dog. Let's read some more.
Verse 9.
What it say?
Wherefore hast thou despised the commandments of the Elohim to do evil in his sight?
What did he ask him? He despised the commandments. You despise the commandments. You looked at them like they don't even exist. I do what I want to do. This Aleister Crowley, baby, do as thou wilt. Let's read some more.
Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword.
With the what?
With the sword.
Did David put the sword on Uriah himself? Was David the one that cut his throat in that battle? So how did he put the sword to Uriah? Did what he do?
Set him up.
Set him up to be killed. That still go with him. So when you're reading about thou shalt not kill, and you're understanding the law of murder, is just not, you can premeditate and don't do nothing. You're the conspirator. It's what you do. Them Philistines got their champions up front, right? Third flanks over there by Gihon, that river right there. Yeah, that's where they top boys at. Send Uriah over there. And Uriah good, man, but he ain't able to handle that. He's good. He one of your top 13. Your top generals, he one of them, man, but he ain't no match for them Philistines over there. They got 15 of them champions over there, good with sword. Man, you gonna send him? Send him there. Send him there. I'm trying to test him to see if the boy really got some skills. You know he already got skills because he one of your 13 of another nation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's read some more.
And has taken his wife to be thy wife.
Uh-oh.
And has slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon.
With the children of Ammon you did this. That's who you allowed to kill him. It was the children of Ammon. Put him to death in war. Read some more.
Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house.
It should depart after 3 months.
It shall never depart from thine house.
A couple years.
Look outside.
Okay. Yes, sir. He had to clear my mind. He said, stop at the local service station and get a world newspaper. That's 1 week of Israel killing Israel. The sword will never depart from your house.
Just stand outside for an hour and see how many antics you see.
See, that cleared my mind right up. Go ahead, bro.
Now, therefore, the sword shall never depart from thine house, because thou hast despised me, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Thus says the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house, and I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this son.
Oh, in the sight of this son. I'm going to do to you what you did to him, but it's going to be a 10 ball. David had 10 concubines, and his own household, Absalom, the pretty boy, took his 10 concubines and had his way with them. All 10 of them. And to tell you the type of heart that David had, he counted them as widows because he knew he could never go into them women again. The land is greatly defiled at that point. Well, guess what he did? Let them live as widows for the rest of their life and took care of them for the rest of their life. Even though this is happening because he's accepting what's happening to him. He's confessed his sin. I did this. Lord, if that's the punishment other than death, I will gladly take that in a heartbeat. Because you can kill me right now and take me straight from the grave to the lake of fire. Right now, I'll take the punishment. I'll take it. Death in my household for 1,000, Lord. I'll take it. My son, he said, thy neighbor. See, didn't let him know where it was coming from. But he said, this is close. That's how close Uriah the Hittite was to you. This is a man that you had standing around your bed that would guard you, that would give his life for you. He's closer than your own children to you. And you player hated him, and you sitting on fact. This is how you treat poor of Israel that would give their life for you. This is how you get down, David. What David say?
Verse 12. For thou didst it secretly.
What, how you do it?
Secretly. But I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Elohim.
Who have he sinned against?
Against the Elohim.
You must acknowledge that first before you ask forgiveness of anybody else and you go to them. You have to acknowledge, I broke your law against my neighbor. Them wasn't my laws I broke your law. See, that's how the forgiveness starts, to the point that he could ease the family members of Uriah and not profane the name of the Lord. What did David do about these scriptures when he did that? He violated all of this. That was profane in the name of the Lord. This is why we telling you ain't no name you can call him that's going to supersede another name. You think, oh, you call him Ahiah, Yahweh Shai, Yehoshua. All of those are titles. But when we get down to profaning his name, the king of Israel, anointed by Saul the prophet, did what? Did he profane his name? Yes, he did, because his name is law, statute, and judgment, and he did a profane thing among all the nations. But when he did, he said, I have done what?
Verse 13, and David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Elohim. And Nathan said unto David, the Elohim also hath put away thy sin. Thou shalt not die.
See, understand what he said right there. He said, he didn't put away your sin. You should not die. Understand this, could have killed him, put him to death right there. He could have said, order David to death. See, if David, men wouldn't have done it, guess who would have came and done it? Some angels. And they'd have cut David's throat and all his men trying to protect him. He said, the Lord had put away your sin. Did he put away the punishment? Huh? Did he put away the punishment? So people would ask, well, if he put away the sin, why did he still get punished for black on black crime? Why we have to suffer? He put away that part of death for David. That's the pity and mercy of a judgment that he shows us. times did David had to kill Saul when Saul was trying to kill him? 3 times at least. Once he caught him taking a dump. Because he had his skirt lifted up, bent down in a cave, grunt. And David cut the hem of his robe off. He said, I could have killed you while you was grunting. He looked at his robe. You sure could have. Then he had another opportunity he could have killed, but he said, I cannot put my hands on the Lord's anointing. Even though the Lord told me, you kill him whenever you get ready. But David is thinking the whole time, what I done, I'm through with this killing somebody else under these reasons. But guess what happened? When Saul had assisted suicide, he was stuck through, and a man came up on him. He was breathing heavy. Man, go and finish me off. Them Philistines gonna hang me, gonna cut my head off and hang me on the fence. Don't let them do it to me, man. They gonna put it on me, man. You know them Philistines gonna kill me. And he plunged the sword on that Saul, and then took the crown running. David, here's the Saul a crown. He like, where you get that from? I got it from Saul himself. He was on his way out, man. Told me, you pull the plug? Yeah, hit a crown. He like, you just signed your own death warrant. You did what I wouldn't do. They put him down, and most people ask, why would David kill him and Saul was trying to kill David? Y'all, we have to understand these pity and why David showed no pity to this man. In his heart, he thinking, I'm finna get the hookup. I'm bringing David the crown. I'm finna get the hookup. You don't know what David did. You ain't got a clue in your mind. You're trying to please David, the killer of Uriah, the taker of Bathsheba, and you bringing a crown like you're gonna put this on his head and he's full of sin. You gonna do that? Y'all, these scriptures, when you get down into the law and you're looking for the pity, you have to look for that. Did we finish that?
Go on verse 14.
What it say?
Howbeit, because by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Elohim to blaspheme. The child also that is born unto thee shall surely die.
What did y'all see this other death sentence he ain't through with David? Spared him from breathe. I mean, kept breath in his body, but he say, partner, the crime ain't over. You owe for this one. I have to show the people I didn't let you off the hook completely. I just didn't take your life. What's that crime? What he getting charged with right there again, Zed?
Death. Death of his child.
Read that again. The death of your child. She's pregnant. He was even plotting the pregnancy. You know what he did? Have Uriah come back home. Give me that best wine. Not the R&R, the good stuff. Got him blasted and told him, now what man had been out to war and he tipsy, go home to your woman, partner. Don't worry about the war. We got the war. You go home and handle your business, partner. He wants superfetation, so he think can happen. Give me that dictionary. Somebody just look me up superfetation, y'all. We're going to move on. Y'all need to understand this is what happened in the garden as well. This is what he's trying to do. David is all the way back in the garden trying to cover this crime up. Give me that dictionary. Just look up superfetation. The word superfetation. This is what he's trying to get going and hoping it's accomplished. Y'all see how it just keeps sliding downhill? This ain't got nothing to do with, like I say, you can have all of, you can put women, you can do whatever you want to. But if your mind is set on, I'm the king, I do what I want to do, it's going to be a problem. Y'all understand now the seeds that the woman had in Genesis 3:16. Superfetation, the presence of fetuses of different ages resulting from the fertilization and development of 2 or more ovaries liberated at different periods of the ovation in the same uterus. Superfecundation, right above it. The impregnation of more than one ovarium within a single menstrual cycle by separate acts of coitus, especially by different males. So we're going to put a little super defunctation in there, a little superfetation. We're going to do that, huh? You're going to try to slip that in, what happened in the garden. You're going to try to get him to put seed in Bathsheba. So when the first child come out, yeah, they look just like you, right? They hit, wait a minute. This boy got sandy red hair. This boy ain't got no high cheekbones up here looking like a Hamite. This boy is looking like David. Y'all, all y'all have to do is Google it now. German Air Force soldier and a woman in Germany pregnant by the black man and her white husband at the same time. Look it up. Google it. We must prove all things. Superfetation. It wasn't talking to Adam when he said thy seed. She have two seeds in her. But that was supernatural. She had two doctrines of covenants in her mind. Those are seeds to be fruitful. That's why she said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. She's looking at Lucifer like the Lord, because that's how he appeared unto her, like the angels. What else it say over there, Zay? We're going to get right back to it, y'all. We're going to close out here short.
Verse 15.
What it say?
And Nathan departed into his house. And Elohim struck the child that Uriah's wife bare unto David, and it was very sick.
It was very what?
Sick. David therefore besought Yahweh for the child, and David fasted and went in and lay all night upon the earth.
Now y'all look at the responsibility of this man. He know what he done. Nathan had already told him, the baby gonna die, partner. What is David doing again? How does he think he gonna stop the judgment of the Lord? He like, boy, this thing is sliding down so fast on me. He could have killed me. Is David at this moment? Y'all see how he's starting to get the fun? He gonna wish he was dead. And that's why you don't see this on David's jacket no more. David repented of this behavior. He's sinned again. But this behavior is never to be found associated with David ever again. That's why Psalm 51 he wrote about. That's about Uriah the Hittite and Bathsheba, Psalm 51. He said, I was shapen in iniquity. He went back to the garden. What happened there happened with me. But he did not blame Adam. Not only this, but Absalom, his son, before he took all of David's concubines, he killed his other brother that David had by one of his other wives. A holy bar, somebody. Because he raped Absalom's sister. They had the same mom. He took her, but like to drink. Absalom said, I'm getting him. He was with his partners, man, full of that Ripple and Mad Dog, laughing, slapping fire, and they saw Absalom easing up, man, they split. Left him standing there, laughing, he was back laughing like this. And when he came back down, it was Absalom standing there with a sword, and his partners was gone. I told you I was going to get you. That was his brother by the same father. I told you what you did to my sister. Now, David got to live with that too. Y'all, all that snowballing because of what happened with Bathsheba. See, so when somebody say why the Lord didn't kill him, you wish you was dead when you read what happened after that. Brought that sword to his house. And we wonder why it's Crips and Bloods. And why Chicago did what it did last weekend, gonna do this weekend, and what we got down on Washington Street this weekend. Summer just started 8 days ago, 9 days ago. Y'all, we ain't got warmed up yet. Y'all see all of this that's happening? This is what's going on, but he spared David from dying from this act. But you have to pay so that nobody else think a king get away with anything. And then guess how Absalom died? It's her he loved so much. I'm talking about he had double the flow of Dr. Julius Irving, the doctor, 2 times that. He riding looking back. David had sent his top soldier to kill him. He riding, that branch coat be hanging from his afro. Riding Hittite just was shanking away, no good. And went back and told his dad, I killed your son. What you think David was? Lord, oh, not Absalom. Not Absalom, Lord, not, yes, Absalom. But what you did to that Hittite that was willing to give his life for you, he'd have died for you. You did that. Welcome to the party, David. But I ain't gonna kill you.
I'm gonna make you live with what you did.
Where we at? What that next verse say? Because I'm gonna cut that short.
Verse 17, and the elders of the house arose and went to him to raise him up from the earth. But he would not, neither did he eat bread with them.
Right.
And it came to pass on the 7th day that the child died.
That the child did on what day?
On the 7th day that the child died.
What happens on the 8th day with a child?
Circumcision.
Child would have been circumcised into a covenant of what? Adultery? Been born through that? And a killing? We're going to circumcise. Oh, I say cut him off in the 7th day. No circumcision for this. Not going to do it, David. Not like this. You just saw what happened with Moses, and he didn't circumcise Gershon. I sent the death angel for him. Child got to die, David. You can't have no child like that. Then Solomon is born. In the right manner. Because David made the wedding public then, but that one was secret. Then it was before the whole congregation. He didn't throw Bathsheba away. You know better, be out there bathing like that, built like that. Ought to be ashamed of yourself. How's a man's gonna look off his roof at you like that and not do nothing? You ought to be ashamed. Look what you done brought on my household. Not once did he say that. He said, we got to get married. We got to show Israel what we're going through. Since we both partakers in this, we got to show Israel how this is ought to be done. And we're trying to live this out. But both of us gonna pay for this. Both of us gonna pay for this. Because y'all know if he'd have put away, you know they'd have been on Bathsheba's head. There she is. There she is, like to take showers outside naked. So the king can see it. Hey, another thing David was supposed to do when you read that up, he was supposed to be out. That's the time when the kings go out to battle, to war, to show the other nations their champion. It's like Donald Trump when he go over to North Korea. It's a time for the champion, the king of the nation, to go let everybody know. I'm still the same David that put Goliath down. Y'all go on handle that business for me, man. I ain't got time for that. Don't go handle that business, man. I ain't going on. They know. Ask about Goliath. They know. Who is that? That's Bathsheba, Uriah the Hittite's wife. One of your top 13 generals that'll give their life for you, that'll die right now. Man, run off and leave it all for you and the Lord. That's his wife. Is she happy? Now we at this point, y'all. Go ahead, bro. Let's get right back. Y'all read the rest of that. And y'all see what David got up after the child died. He's like, ain't no need fasting no more. He gone. He gone. Was David killed by the law? David is killed. Who died? Did that son die?
Yep.
Who is that son from?
Yep.
From David. David still died. Get back to that Leviticus, y'all. We're going to get this last one. We're going to get ready to get out of here. Y'all read all the rest of that.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 15.
Y'all hold that. Just while y'all still there, hold that too. Just flip this over. I want y'all to see how Absalom was. When you talking about measuring what a pretty boy looked like. What I'm talking about when made Denzel look like. Yeah. No. What's that boy, the Goody Mob just died? On a good day.
Somebody in Goody Mob just died?
Yeah. Not Goody Mob, Ghetto Boys. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The midget.
Bushwick Bill.
Bushwick Bill.
I'm like, what?
Hit me that 2 Samuel while we right there. Go to verse 25. I want y'all to just see something about Absalom. The same 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 25. I just want y'all to see something about Absalom. So when y'all, look at Denzel or different things, when y'all think about Absalom, see, you can't get caught in the beauty because of his crimes. He had both his father's wife. He was an MF. We just read in Leviticus, the man that uncovered his father's nakedness should be put to death. Yeah. That was his father's concubines. He was an MF. That's why it's called a curse word. The man that has uncovered his father's nakedness has lain with his wife. That's his mother, right? Whether it's from not his natural mother, it's still his mother because she's married to his father. And it's for unlawful carnal knowledge. F-U-C-K. Why you think it's in all capital letters? For unlawful carnal knowledge. Knowledge meaning sexual intercourse. He was a mother for unlawful carnal knowledge journey. Hence the curse word, mother. Now we done turned it into something glorified. We done profaned the Lord's name with that. Who they attribute that word to? No, to Bernie Mac, but where Bernie Mac from? From Judah, from Israel. Every nation on earth used MF towards us like it's the word that was identify us as a people. Shalom, y'all. MF. Bernie Mac, the chief of it, wasn't he? But that's what we say, man, you a bad mother. Man, that black mother. Man, you a cool mother.
You ugly.
Mother. But it's all tied to what we call curse words because a curse was pronounced on you. Now, railing is something different. It's when you take a host of curse words that puts a man to death and you use them in one sentence. Hence, Cat Williams. Let's read that about Absalom, y'all. Then we're going to get right back to it. I ain't going to interrupt no more.
2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 25.
What it say?
But in all Israel.
But in some of Israel.
In all Israel.
Just the tribe of Naphtali.
In all Israel, there was none to be so much praised as Absalom for his beauty.
For his what?
For his beauty.
Uh-huh.
From the sole of his foot, even to the crown of his head, there was no blemish in him.
There was no what?
Blemish in him.
He looked so good, he almost could have been mistaken for the Messiah to come. They saying this man looks like an unblemished lamb. From the sole of his foot to the top of his head. No blemish in him. He was handsome, beyond handsome. He was comely to look upon, even more so than his daddy. But you know what was on the inside of that beauty? Reproach. And the thoughts of being an MFer on the inside of all that beauty. It's the same way you have to be careful if you get beauty struck of a woman. You don't know what's on the inside. You just looking at the outside.
Ooh, I can testify.
She looking 10 times the beauties on TV. And soon as the first words come out of her mouth, make her look like somebody else. All she got to do is say something in a 2-pack-a-day smoke of all malls to you in the wrong way. Oh, B-A-D, Negro. A band. Y'all know what it be. B-A-N. Oh, B-A-N. And you like, this coming out of that pretty woman's mouth? Y'all, let's get back to that in a bit.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 15.
What it say?
And if a man lie with the beast,
With a what?
with the beast, he shall surely be put to death, and ye shall slay the beast.
Google animal brothel in Ohio. There's a brothel that was run up there with any animal that you want to have pleasure with, like a whorehouse. Bestiality on the radar in Ohio. And that's just a few places. You going, AZ? Shalom. Shalom, sis. Where we at? Go ahead, read some more.
Verse 16. And if a woman approach unto any beast and lie down thereto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
You can't never have a dog think he's really man's best friend. Not that way. No, it didn't mean go that far. If she lie down with a beast, y'all know it's out there all over the dark web. Read some up.
Verse 17. And if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He hath uncovered his sister's nakedness. He shall bear his iniquity.
And that's what David's oldest son bared, because he took Absalom's sister, his little brother, and took her, uncovered her nakedness. Took her. And see, the deal was he played sick. Go get my sister and tell her the only thing gonna make me better is I she make them hot water cornbread. Go get her, tell her I'm about to die unless she make them cakes for me. She come back and what's wrong?
Hey,
Absalom, big brother.
Hey, baby.
He start grabbing, I need them cakes. And she like, okay, I'll make the cakes, but why you grabbing all up here? Go on.
Come here.
Finally, he just grabbed and just handled her, tore off the coat David gave her a splendid robe like Jacob had gave Joseph. He tore that off. And when he got through with her, you know what he told her? Be gone, skank. Gone out of here, skank. And she went out weeping. She begged him, just don't do this. Please don't do this. Look, our daddy let us get married. Just don't do this. His law was involved. We just read it, didn't we? What he doing? Is it still in the house of David?
Mm-hmm.
David probably wished he was dead. Read some more.
Verse 18. And if a man shall lie with the woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he hath discovered her fountain, and she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people.
So when it comes around that time, that's the only waiting period mentioned in the Bible. If that happens during the wedding week, the honeymoon week, that's the only time you stop from her. It's not written anywhere else of abstaining from your woman, but on this time. And if she's sick, Leviticus 15, something else, yeast infection or whatever it may be, cross-contamination, what I'm speaking of. Ezekiel 18, the man that have not come unto a righteous, the man that has not come to a mistress woman, he should surely be called righteous. It's over and over and over. We're talking about that time of separation. You know why you can't go into them? Because that was the sin that started death. It was the first sin given to a woman because it was illegal activity. So you can't partake in vile affections that started death, to cure death. This is a reminder to the women about what happened in the garden. Not for you to think that that's a pleasurable time. And if it happened on accident, there's law for you to straighten it out, because sometimes it could happen at that spur of the moment, but it gets into that. And if her sickness come down on a man, this what they have to do. Both of them have to go wash themselves, and they're unclean for this many days. A man is actually unclean for that many days. 7 days, a man is unclean because his woman came down on him. He's unclean. If you don't see that in a man's writing for him to be put out for 7 days, they cheat. He can't come in here. How are we going to know? Is he going to tell us? We have to trust that he know the law up here, and he won't come down here with that. The same way you won't let a woman come to Passover because she may be on that time. If you ain't exacting these laws upon every man, shame on you, because it's male and female, and there's no partiality with the Most High. Finish that up, bro. We're going to get this last one.
Verse 19. And thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, nor of thy father's sister. When he hath uncovered his near kin, they shall bear their iniquity.
Who is your nakedness of your mother's sister? What would that be to you? Your auntie. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And if a man shall lie with his uncle's wife.
Oh, see how I just go right into clearing it up for you so it interprets itself? Go ahead.
He hath uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They shall bear their sin. They shall die childless.
See, so he's went into his uncle's wife. But it's saying it's his uncle's nakedness. It is his nakedness. That's his nakedness. That's for his eyes. Go ahead.
And if a man shall take his brother's wife, it is an unclean thing. He hath uncovered his brother's nakedness. They shall be childless.
See, so that can't happen unless the brother's dead. Because the law, if your brother died and ain't got no children, he have to go through it, right? But he dead. Read some up.
Verse 22. Ye shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgments, and do them, that the land whither I bring you to dwell therein spew you not out. You can hold right there. Give me some Exodus 21:22, y'all. I got this last Matthew, y'all. We're gonna close it out. We may just touch on that Sirach a little bit, but we're doing pretty good. I want to get out here about 4:30, so we rolling pretty good. Who's that last?
You put time on something.
Huh?
That's what I'm laughing at.
What?
About 4:30?
Yeah.
All right, 20 minutes.
Look, boy, look at them in the back. They taking bets and cash and lots. 21:22, y'all. Just one verse. Just want to hit on what we were talking about, because there's some this abortion rights thing. You may see them protesting now. There's one sister, like I say, they had one boyfriend. She got pregnant by him, and they fight. And the one that's pregnant, the one that wasn't pregnant had a pistol. She attacked, the pregnant girl attacked the one with the pistol. She shot her in the stomach and killed the baby. Guess who they locked up? The woman that's pregnant got shot in the belly. They say she was at fault for killing that child because she shouldn't have went and attacked a woman with a pistol. Let's read about what's supposed to happen with that. As Alabama laws then exceeded the affliction. Read some more. What it say?
Exodus chapter 21, verse 22 says, if men strive and hurt a woman with child.
I'll tell you what, go back to 17. And this is just what I want, because you hear a lot of people talking about the 10th generation, and if you born like this. Y'all, there's a lot of other things that prevented you from being a priest or coming up to the congregation. But we ain't talking about that, y'all. We have to talk about everything that will prevent you from coming, not because you married somebody of another nation. We have to bring everything in that disqualifies you. Start at verse 17. Go ahead, bro.
It says, and he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. And if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time.
So it's saying if men get into a scrap, y'all, and the other one put that heat on him, and he ended up surviving, but he need a cane to walk with, then you probably gonna have to pay for his livelihood after that point, because he's a cripple now. But you won't be charged formally for like assault or these different type of things. Go ahead, read that again.
It says, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit.
What does acquit mean? Does that mean acquittal? It's an acquittal. It'd be quit. That's what an acquittal is. Go ahead.
Only he shall pay for the loss of his time.
See, and that's what they did. They acquitted OJ, but he got a civil suit. They found him guilty, responsible for the killing. We wasn't there. We can't prove that he actually did it, but we know he was involved with it. And we're going to make him pay money. $33 million he got to pay. OJ ain't paid a quarter of it, because his football pension is untouchable. He gets $300,000 a year for the rest of his life. They can't be touched. And them Goldmans is mad as hell, because he playing golf and having a good time, and they don't like it. And then he write a book tomorrow, well, if I did. Now they got the proceeds from that. Read them up.
And shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished.
Right.
Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money.
For he is his what?
Money.
How you gonna beat your money to death? Just like those that saying we gonna kill all the nations of it. How you gonna kill your money? How you gonna beat your servants to death? That's your money. That's your inheritance. They work for you, the entire kingdom. How you gonna kill that out? Who gonna work for you? You think if I'm blessed, I'ma do it? Read some more.
Verse 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child.
And hurt a woman with what?
Child. So that her fruit depart from her.
That her fruit depart from her. What is that called today?
Abortion.
No. Miscarriage.
Oh, that's funeral.
Yeah. A miscarriage. Go ahead.
And yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine.
See, he's responsible monetarily, but there are two men fighting, and she could have interrupted, intervened, got in the way, and got hit with a blow inadvertently and had a miscarriage. Well, the man ain't off the hook. He can't just say she shouldn't have been in the middle of this. She could have been just saying, I was trying to break him up.
Right.
Well, he has to pay that man for that, but we're not going to charge him with murder of a child. So is Alabama then overstepped their bounds here? If they didn't go too far with charging this girl with murder of her own child in her belly, ain't she done suffered enough?
Yeah, because she got to live with that.
On the front page of the Daily Mail, y'all, these are the things that keep us in mind and looking at how the law is being put down so you can make a fair judgment and champion her cause. But it has to be according to these laws before Israelites get out there and protest. Are you protesting against the wrong thing? You know, that child was hurt with a battle. It was just different. That's why they say if a husband, he get another man getting the best of him, you must hit him over the head with a 40 ounce, a skillet, a piece of wood, but you cannot, as a woman, reach between that man's legs to get him off of your husband. You cannot. Because the scripts say if she do and give him that advantage, cut her hand off. Because look, she helping him, but she may end up hurting him. Because she could be grabbing the squeeze like, wait a minute, Lord have mercy. I see why he went. Cut it off.
She felt his weight.
I wasn't going there for a second. What you read? Did you finish that?
Verse 23. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, strike for strike.
See, if no mischief follow, all he's responsible for is to pay for that child of what it would have been like, or whatever the judgment feel for this man's child. How it would have been raised, you owe that man that. But if other drama come behind, other family members get involved. No, nigga, you stepped over the line that time. They killed that boy been trying to have that baby. No, we gonna get a visitor tonight, nigga. If it started to bring that in, now it's eye for eye, blood for blood. Because there's war now, ain't it? See, you can keep it at a point to where you can mend this and some pity be administered. But this is more than that man. Don't take that money and then get beside yourself and make a phone call. Yeah, nigga paid me off, man. My child worth more than $300,000. Man, I had her set up to be a Supreme Court judge. Nigga, thing I'm gonna do like that, man. I'll kill him. You'll kill him. I'll give you some of that money they gave me. Now it's blood. It's blood now. Eye for eye. See, the law lets you know you can take this way out a plea deal before we get into drama. Like a lot of time they say you can plead out or you can take it to court. If you sure of yourself, take it to court. But if you any way, shape involved in this madness, don't you trust. You're trusting in a lie. They ain't gonna find me guilty. I'm pretty good at getting out of trouble. Been doing it my whole life. I fooled 3 judges last week. If you like that and say take it to court, you're betting on a lie. Don't do that. But if you sure you didn't do nothing, it's me ain't been in jail, just got left 47 years. I didn't do that. I don't care what you parole people say. Send me back to my cell. I didn't do it. And the Lord delivers them. And they're let out. For 30 years gone of their life. But we was warned that this was going to happen to us in this land, wasn't it? So y'all, let me just hit that. Let's just hit this Sirach 35, y'all. I'm gonna just touch on the first 4 verses of Matthew 7. Y'all, we're gonna close on out. But I just wanted to show y'all those things that are prevalent in the news right now with things that are going on, abortion, the gay pride parade, and all of these things. Y'all have to understand that you still got to make a fair judgment when you accessing that behavior. You have to. You got to make sure you ain't attacking it because you doing it secretly. You have to make sure. You'll pass down judgment quick on something you be doing. And like David said, I'll put that man to death. Well, David, he doing what you like to do. Remember, he's a happy man too. This man we talking about, he like to ask, is a woman married if she happy? What does that mean? Are you happy though? Y'all know what that means? We're going to the book of Sirach, 35th chapter. Y'all, we're just going to read a little bit of this. No, we're coming back to that. This is going to tie that up, and then we're going to finish up with that Matthew 7. Because, y'all, what we are talking about is judgments righteously administered with pity and mercy. That don't mean you be a slap target. But you have to take inventory of your life and say, you know what? The Lord spared me. I should be dead. I really, truly should be dead. I ain't repented for that. I have repented for that. I ought to be dead for real. Before we start attacking violently, and it's on your jacket, like the Bible explained last week. It's not judging anybody saying you can't judge them. You have to make sure you know the law before you sling something out there. The prosecutor, the prosecutor do that all the time. He hurl and throw whatever or stick to the wall on you, don't they? They go back in your childhood. In the 8th grade, sir, he was, I know he's 60 and been working his whole life, but in the 8th grade, he had reefer in his locker. It shows here he was suspended for 2 days. They going back. Let's read some more. Where we at? Sirach 35. Start at verse 1. We're just going to read a couple of these. Ecclesiasticus in it, or Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. Got up on the board? Yeah, you got to do your thing. Well, y'all got to park because they're going to get it up on the board. Y'all, let's get it. We're going to close on out.
We'll be reading in the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 35. Start our reading at around verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Let's get some understanding, y'all. He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough. He that taketh heed to the commandment offereth a peace offering.
So if you do the law automatically, he said, the Most High said, if you could just do that, that's enough. Because within the law, it's going to teach you how to tithe. But if you think you can just give your rent money to the preacher, come out, I paid my tithe, and your lights get cut off, that's not charity. You done harmed your whole family. We got to go a whole nother 2 weeks for another paycheck because you done gave it to him. You think that tithing, you are not doing charity. You done gave up your household. You can't live in the church. Can't nobody stay down here. They lock the building up at 6:30 on the weekend. You have to have your own house, but we have to have a place to fellowship. We have to have a neutral space. Some people don't know how to respect people's home. Go in their refrigerator. You know, yeah, use up the last piece of toilet tissue and get the decorative tiles and wipe with it. Put it back up there. And you out of paper towels in there. So you gotta have a neutral spot so you don't have to kill nobody. What are we at?
Verse 2. He that requiteth a good turn offereth fine flour, and he that giveth alms sacrificeth praise. To depart from wickedness is a thing pleasing to the Most High, and to forsake unrighteousness is a propitiation. Thou shalt not appear empty before the Most High.
This is why a beggar's life is not to be counted, because you can't appear empty. You can't come with nothing. You have to always be on the ground. That's Genesis 3:17. You're going to work from the sweat of your brow till when? Till you return where? To the dirt. This don't mean you can get on the big and 101 train. Well, this Sirach same 40 and the last 5 verses say that's a life not to be counted as a life. Does it mean you can't fall on hard times? No. But you can't stay on hard times. Especially with nobody else. Go ahead.
Verse 5. For all these things are to be done because of the commandment.
That's right.
The offering of the righteous maketh the altar fat, and the sweet savor thereof is before the Most High. The sacrifice of a just man is acceptable.
The sacrifice of a what kind of man?
Of a just man is acceptable.
So if you go, I gave it, you know, we ain't got no problem with tithing. I gave them that, you know, it helped with the Thanksgiving dinner they was having. See, they was able to go get 20, 30 hams up in there. That's a sacrifice you done made. That's an offering you done gave to buy 30 or 40 hams. No, that's not charity. It's not charity because it's breaking the law.
It's not food.
No hams because it ain't food. Let's read some more.
And the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten. Give the Most High his honor with a good eye.
With a what kind of eye?
With a good eye, and diminish not the first fruits of thine hand. In all thy gifts show a cheerful countenance, and dedicate thy tithes with gladness.
If you are being commanded to give tithes, you can't show that with gladness, can you? And these boys in these camps are doing what they call double tithes. 20%. Ain't even no number on nothing we just read about, is it? He said you should be glad when you give it. If a man is barely getting through check to check, he's meeting his bills, but ain't too much left over, and he's able to give a little bit out of that, he's happy. He did the same thing the rich have done, giving 100,000. Because a woman that cast in 2 pence, what they say, how much did she cash in? More than them all combined. Them 2 pennies she had, she put them in there. They say, these 2 pennies worth more than this 30,000 right here. Let's read some more.
Verse 10. Give unto the Most High according as he hath enriched thee.
As he has done what?
Enriched thee.
Y'all, how you gonna let somebody force you to give more than the Lord have enriched thee? Now you gonna hate the scripture because you done gave tithes away thinking it's gonna make you prosper. It's the same thing. Psalm 1:1 say verse 8. Joshua 1 chapter verse 8. Keep the commandments and then thou shalt prosper. But tithing is a commandment that has to be understood how you give. There's when you're in a poor status and there's a giving, or when you're in a rich status. You have to know the law of tithing before you say, like Creflo Dollar said, non-tithers should be gunned down. And in the same breath say the law is done away with. So what law are you gonna gun them down about? What are you gonna get somebody the death penalty for what you don't believe exists anymore? Because they short digging in their pockets. Y'all, these the flim flam move, but we love it so because they see 10,000 people in this church and they want to be a part of. I want to be a part of giving that. All y'all do, please do this, y'all. Google this for me. Creflo Dollar and Leroy Thompson, bring me the money. If you want to see 2 mega preachers, people running up to the stage, putting $100 bills, he's dancing, they're electric sliding on the money, they're stomping on the money. Bring me the money. They dancing on the money, and people are running down the aisles, can't wait, running with bill money.
Throwing it over.
And then run back smiling to the crowd like I just gave up the cable money. I just gave Junior's college fund away. Running back to the crowd like you're gonna be patted on the back. The whole ride home, you cussing yourself out. Lord have mercy. What am I gonna do? You said if a tither get, now you want to exact the law on the way home.
The law that ain't no good.
The law that ain't no good. Read some more, partner.
Verse 10 from the top. Give unto the Most High according as he hath enriched thee, and as thou hast gotten.
And as thou hast what?
And as thou hast gotten. Give with a cheerful eye. For the Most High recompenseth, and will give thee 7 times as much.
Yes, sir.
Do not think to corrupt with gifts, for such he will not receive. And trust not to unrighteous sacrifices, for the Most High is judge, and with him is no respect of person.
Don't you give and think you're going to bribe the Lord. I give this, I bribe. That ain't charity. You're trying to bribe God. And y'all seen the One West boy say, don't ask us what we do with them tithes. We ain't giving them to Jesus. On film. Don't ask us what we do with the money we give, y'all give to us. If I go buy a horse, don't ask. Just like that boy don't drink the junior. Why the preacher got to have a big house? Why the preacher got to have a big car? Don't ask. Don't ask. No questions. Just give up the money.
And I talked to this one Christian once. He said, well, I want my pastor to have a big car.
We done heard that
I said,
too.
what kind of car you got? He said, I ain't got no car.
I ain't got no car. We had a partner nerve day. We talking about, it was the clergy coalition. They went out and bought their pastor a $2,000 or $3,000 fur coat so that he could look sharp at the, what kind of coat you got? Somebody gave me a fatigue jacket that just got out there warm. And you donated to a fur coat for him to showboat at the clergy coalition. You Negroes crazy. Read some more.
Verse 13.
What it say?
He will not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed. He will not despise the supplication of the fatherless, nor the widow when she poureth out her complaint. Do not the tears run down the widow's cheeks, and is not her cry against him that causeth them to fall? He that serveth the Most High shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach unto the clouds. The prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds. Until it come nigh, he will not be comforted, and will not depart, till the Most High shall behold the judge righteously, and execute judgment.
Patient. Go ahead.
For the Most High will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient toward toward them, till he have smitten in sunder the loins of the unmerciful, and repaid vengeance to the heathen, till he have taken away the multitude of the proud, and broken the scepter of the unrighteous, till he have rendered to every man according to his deed.
Read that again.
Till he have rendered to every man according to his deeds, and to the works of men according to their devices, till he have judged the cause of his people, and made them to rejoice in his mercy.
To rejoice in what?
In his mercy.
Y'all know his mercy because we ought to be dead. Every one of us in here except children. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 20. Mercy is seasonable in the time of affliction, as clouds of rain in the time of drought.
See, so mercy in the time of affliction, David was told mercy in the time of affliction. You've been caught red-handed with what you did when you rided Hittite and Bathsheba. You've been caught, but mercy in the time of affliction. This is how our God is, but you got to be according to the law. This don't mean you just forgive anybody to do anything. They have to repent like David did before you say, I forgive you. That still don't mean you forget. You can forgive somebody, but you can let them know you ain't forgot what they did. No, bro, you still can't come around with me, man. You still look like you got a taste of that on you. I don't want to have to hurt you, bro. Just stay over there, man. We cool, man. I dap you up when I see you, but I can't let you get close like I did last time.
To keep yourself from sinning.
To keep myself from sinning. So, brother, I'm admonish you, and I'm just going to keep the distance for a minute because I have to show that level of mercy if I say I'm going to pray for you. You understand what I'm saying? You can't say I'll pray for you and expect bad to happen to you. Unless you just come out and just say, I'm praying for the death of your black no good.
Hey, it's better to be honest. It's better to be honest.
That's what type of prayer you're going to get. And be looking with that look. But you can't do it, y'all, if you say I forgive you. You'll never forget. But if the forgiveness is there and they come correct, you can do it. That don't mean nobody outside of the brotherhood of the Messiah, Melchizedek order. That's on the inside of this, and there's hope that that individual will get it straight. If he don't, the scripts say count him as a heathen man. How do you count heathen men? Yeah, we know how we do it because we'll blast anything that we think is heathen. You know how to do it. Y'all, this last one, Matthew 7. Look like 18 minutes. I'm rolling pretty good. I got 2 minutes, and it's Matthew 7. We're going to close out. It was 4:09.
4:36.
It was 4:09.
You said 4:30.
What's 4:09?
You said
in 30 and
4:30.
20, and 20
You
minutes.
said 4:30. It's 4:36.
Okay.
Everybody know what it is.
Yeah, it was, bro. If I hadn't answered them questions, I'd have been done.
Yeah, you all you had to do is not say that.
Right. Let's get it, y'all. I'm 5 minutes out. Matthew 7:1. First
Put
4
some more
verses.
time on it.
No, I ain't putting no more. This is.
Huh? It's me. Go ahead, Ezra.
All right, Matthew chapter 7, verse 1.
Go down to verse 8. We're going to close out.
Judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged.
You should be what?
Judged.
Because that's why we had you read to David. The way you give it out, we're gonna ask you, is this how you would do it? So if you do that, then you have no problem with the results of what we doing to you. You're being judged just like what you would do. Go ahead.
And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again.
So what you put out, you get back in. Go ahead.
And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, and considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite.
Thou what?
Hypocrite.
First
cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye.
See, you can't cast out the beam out of your own eye when you're watching your brother if you partakers in his sin. You know he doing wrong, and you justify it against something else or somebody else. And then you, in the same breath, point your finger at somebody else. It's like we're talking about Prince Asiel and Benjamin Carter over at the bus drive. When Benjamin Carter then told him, I'm dying, you gonna take over, he didn't hear them words, but he said, we got a new chief on the block. Old boy gonna take over. And he thinking, boy, I done got played. But you know what he had to answer? He answered in his letter. You know, he wrote a letter to the Muslim talking about Benjamin Carter. Why would you write the moon god worshippers a letter about Hebrews and their practice to punish him? You gonna go outside the script to get another group to punish him? Shameful, shameful, shameful. And then he admitted in the letter. I got the letter Jacob sent to him. I got the letter. You know what he said in the letter? I knew in the first 7 years when we didn't take Jerusalem, it's possible he could be a false prophet. But then he said to me, the only reason it didn't happen in these 7 years, because technically we hadn't left America technically for 7 years. So we gave it another 7 years and we still over in the desert. And the gay pride parade still going on, parade still going on, and the Palestinians running over our land. 14 years we still here. And then when he started calling himself Allah, and I fooled myself to think he was just saying like we call Father Abraham. Maybe he was thinking it's in that level that he's want us to call him Father. No, it ain't. Because Abraham ain't never called himself the Father nor the Messiah. You know it ain't the same thing. And then when he told you send him back to Chicago, and when he come back, they got a new boy set up. Now he go run to the Muslims and tell them. Y'all see this because they've been playing with wickedness for years, and it's then come back full circle on him. And then they left, and then he get locked up in America. Come back to America and get locked up for a scheme with Bobby Rush in Congress to try to help Zimbabwe out. So you leave America and come back here and do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years in the federal pen? Where we at? Did we finish that?
Verse 6.
Go ahead.
Shall we read down 8?
Yeah.
Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you.
See, that's why you can't have mixed doctrines or brotherhoods of everybody having their own idea, because they'll turn to put it right back on you. You talking about the Messiah of the holy birth, and you got a bunch of other people that don't believe he ever existed, and half of them believe he was born in fornication. They are going to rend and turn and trample with you for agreeing to let that be a part of what you about. You agree to disagree. They will trample you underfoot. Because you agree to deal with something that ain't written in here. You got opinionated. Long as we know we Israel, what the hell has that got to do with this whole book? Is talking about Israel's redemption by the Messiah. What that's got to do with a rogue Israelite? We just read instructions. What to do with an Israelite when he out of control? Finish that up, bro.
Verse 7. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you.
The Messiah can't get no clearer than that. Ask, and it shall be given to you. A closed mouth don't get what? Ask, and it shall be given to you. Ask for the gifts of the Most High. Ask him to come into you and cleanse you and circumcise your heart. Because that covenant that's circumcised is running rampant.
Daniel, just on that other doctrine, I was reading on this. I got this Galatians in the first chapter, Galatians 1 and 6.
Yes, sir.
Read this real quick.
Okay.
It says, I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of a Mashiach unto another gospel, which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and would pervert the gospel of a Mashiach. But though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. As we said before, so say I now again. If any man preach any other gospel unto you than that ye have received, let him be accursed. For do I now persuade men or Yah? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of a Mashiach.
That's right.
But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man. For I neither received it of man, neither was I taught it, but by the revelation of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
Boy, you couldn't have ended it no better. And y'all check out Galatians chapter 2 and you'll see where Paul had to check Peter on the same way. He said, you went through the road to Damascus. You done went through about the Gentile. And yet when you see some other Israelites, you play them like you don't know them. He said, I cussed him out to his face. I told him, it's you the problem. You just had that vision and you back to you scared of these men pleasers? You scared of them, so when they come around, you act like you don't know these Gentiles. He said, I cussed Peter out to his face. That's what Paul did. He rebuked a brother and admonished him to his face. Y'all read that chapter 2 of that Galatians and y'all see what I'm talking about. And y'all understand that Gentile he talking about couldn't have meant an Israelite that didn't know who he was. How is Peter talking to Israelites don't know who he was and he already got the vision? He wouldn't have did that. These had to be somebody of another nation. He like, you tripping. Oh, the white boy ain't good enough when your partners come around, huh? The Chinese boy ain't good enough, huh? Cuss Peter out. Let's close out, y'all. Anybody got anything to say? They out there, what they saying out there too bad?
So far, so good. Everybody pretty much just talking amongst each other.
Yes, sir. Y'all know we got the feast days coming up. We got the blowing of trumpets. We have the Day of Atonement coming up, y'all. We got the Feast of Tabernacles coming up, y'all. The fall feast. We got to get prepared ahead of time, y'all. That's why we're going over these laws and about judgment. So when you know you ask somebody to forgive me or you accepting somebody's apology during the Day of Atonement, you don't bring your gift to the altar unworthily. You can't do it. You just can't come on the Day of Atonement to forgive me if I done you some wrong. Them ain't the rules. Those are not the rules. And if you make a bold statement like that, you done offended too many people. It's so big, you just got to say, y'all forgive me. I may have cussed out everybody. You out of control then. You don't even know who you offended. The line could get long for you. And the phone calls could start. You call my mama this. Yeah, bro, when you did that the other day, you did this. Oh, did her forgive me? Oh, did it? How about take 1,000,000 of them phone calls because you put it out there like that, anybody who called, and you wouldn't even know at that time. Brother, you remember when you stole that money out of my pocket? What? Who is this? I'm one of the ones that you offended, that you don't know about. You lumping me into the broad statement. It was you. You the one with that stickum on your fingers like Fred Biletnikoff of the Oakland Raiders. Yeah, that was a receiver that really couldn't catch, so he had glue on his fingertips, Gorilla Glue. He was catching like, what's that boy name with the mohawk for the Giants? How you catch with one hand? Odell Beckham, that Israelite, but he was catching with Gorilla Glue on his hand. They had the outlaw stick 'em. Shalom, y'all, to the worldwide family, and thank y'all so much for all y'all support out there, for y'all continued support as this ministry. Y'all will keep our end of the bargain. Y'all will continue to bring forth the word of the Most High. I hope y'all receive it well. If y'all got any questions or concerns, anything, y'all, we don't claim to know it all. We claim to be practicing a perfect walk so that we can be found perfect. Practice make what? Perfect. So don't worry about nobody calling you perfect. We're practicing to be that. So you ain't gonna shame us out of wanting to be perfect if our judgment is right and we show mercy to our brothers of the faith. What psalm you got, brother?
The first one.
Yes, sir. Oh, man.
Yeah, we're going to get this closing prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the first chapter, and it reads, Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Most High.
Sir.
And in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruits in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Most High knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Hallelujah! Say what?
Y'all got a shekel or two. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you, worldwide audience, for tuning in.
Yes, sir.